I'm interrupting this podcast for an urgent announcement. There's a war that's going on in the Middle East right now, and you may not be living here, but you need to know how it affects you. What everyone who is in the know right now understands is that the prices of everything is set to skyrocket over the coming months. We're talking food, drink, oil, gas, electricity, basic necessities. Life as you know it potentially is going to be flipped on its head. There are some countries that are already almost out of electricity. Now, what does that mean for you? What that means is that you need to get financially stable faster now than ever before. People are being laid off left, right, center because companies cannot afford it. So what do you do in this situation right now? You can go out there and do it yourself, or you could take the path from someone trusted who can help guide you and get you financially stable with Allah's permission, online, remote, within 3 to 6 months. I'm talking about a guy who's done it for hundreds of people. I'm talking about none other than my beloved brother, Abu Lahya. He's a Muslim brother, entrepreneur, who's helped hundreds of people like yourself become financially stable. They've been able to do hijrah, move to Muslim countries, get married. One of his students actually made $1 million in 6 months, and he ended up qualifying to join our network of high net worth entrepreneurs and investors. Most of them will get to 10,000 USD monthly, Allahu Akbar. So if you're interested in becoming financially free and you understand the urgency that's in front of you right now, apply at the link below. But know that his program is very hard work. It's very hard work. It requires hours of dedication every single day. It's very expensive. It's not cheap. And they reject the overwhelming majority of applications. But those who make it through and do the work, they end up making money in 3 to 6 months, inshallah ta'ala. So apply at the link below before it's too late.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Chai with my Bhai. It's been a minute. It's been over a month since we released an episode. In fact, as you're watching this tonight, we recorded one episode in Ramadan, which is actually coming out tonight, which is a week.
Finally released that one.
A week after Eid. This is my fault.
Wow, subhanallah, bro.
It's my bad.
And it was supposed to be one a day.
It was meant to be one a day in Ramadan. We did one a month, and it didn't even get released.
Bro, you know what, next year we should do that, bro. 100%.
Inshallah. We have to plan it out in advance. We could probably start recording those from now, so we can make sure we have enough in the bank for when Ramadan actually comes.
There's some unreleased ones as well.
There are, and they're also going to be releasing this week.
Yeah.
There's about 6 of them. We're going to start releasing them also.
And they're fire as well.
They're fire.
Some of
Some of them are too fire, though.
Some of them have not been released because we're worried. Is it too fire?
Too much fire.
Is it too much fire?
But don't worry, we're going to be releasing them very, very soon, inshallah. It's been a crazy month, guys. It's been a crazy month. We've had drones, missiles raining on us. We've had water raining on us. The last few days, the roads have been flooded. Yeah. And we're still here, alhamdulillah.
Iran
and rain.
Iran spells rain if you rearrange. Okay.
Anagram. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's March 2026. Iran and rain.
That's looking at you too deep, man.
You found that on a auntie's WhatsApp group. I'm folding it around. Like, yeah.
Plus Ramadan.
Ramadan.
And it was actually one of the best Ramadans of my life.
Alhamdulillah. Really, from what angle?
May Allah accept us.
Wallahi, man. So everything that was happening was happening. Obviously, there's war, right? Conflict in the region. It's chaos. And it's the month of the Quran, and you're reading everything in the Quran. Like the battle of Ahzab in Surah Al-Ahzab, the battle of Badr in Surah Al-Anfal, Surah Ali Imran, where Allah goes to the battle of Uhud, the rise and fall of nations, reliance upon Allah. Then there's the Qiyam. Like, it was just. Plus, also, obviously, inside the cave, there was a big sense of camaraderie amongst all of our members, alhamdulillah. So it was nice.
What yourself, Sheikh? How was your experience?
You know, well, I've never really reflected on it until you just mentioned there, Akhi. But I would have to say immediately my mind went to, it was probably the best, and I don't know if I can say this correctly, one of the worst experiences in Ramadan that I've had. The best in terms of, subhanAllah, like being in this region meant that...
Was it your first Ramadan in a Muslim country?
Yeah, first Ramadan in here.
Subhanallah. Okay.
So it was
roller coaster.
It was amazing in the sense that our proximity to the Haramain, like me, Sam, and Muhammad went to Umrah, like
you guys went just before it kicked off.
Yeah, bro. Subhanallah, it was weird
In February.
Yeah.
You guys arrived.
Our flight got cancelled the night.
Yeah. It was mad. And you know what? Subhanallah, a deep thing was, the facilitation of it was so, because at the time, me and Sam were in the gym. We weren't even training together. We were walking past each other in the gym. That's when we planned it, and we flew out the next day.
Allahumma
Yeah.
barik.
So I said, Sam, should we go? He goes, let's just go. And I said, Khalas. I said, you book the flights, I'll book the hotel. And I said, bro, there might not be any hotels because Ramadan.
Last minute.
We just read there was like 11 million people there.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, get ready for it to be crazy. Yeah, so just get ready, bro. Like, it's going to be mad. So he goes, let's just do it. And then Muhammad jumped on as well afterwards. Bro, from the flights to the hotel to how easily we managed to complete the Umrah was unbelievable. Like, I've never experienced something like this ever.
How was the rush when you went?
Well, subhanAllah, like, we managed to do tawaf right close to the
No
Kaaba.
way.
It was
What
calm. We got
night?
there. We literally started at Asr. We finished just after Maghrib. And the speed
Oh,
of it
wow.
was
That's usually
unbelievable.
packed at that time.
Yeah.
in Ramadan.
In Ramadan.
That
like,
is it's very.
the maddest thing was, before we left the hotel, we all added that, find my friend thing on iPhone in case we lost each other. Because we're like, look, within 5 minutes, we're going to be like separated.
Yeah.
The entire time, we were together.
Allah barik.
And honestly, it was alhamdulillah, and the whole time we managed to spend it without any layani, without any wasting of time. We a lot of talk on deen, reflecting on our lives, and a lot of ibadah. It was really, honestly, quite a surreal experience for me.
So that made it the best? What made it the worst?
That particular event probably made it the best Ramadan I've ever had. In terms of what made it worst, I'll be honest with you, there was two parts. So one, my family, I sent them back to the UK, so I felt very alone this Ramadan. And then
Bangladesh.
obviously, sorry.
To Bangladesh.
No, to the UK.
Uh-huh.
And then my experience in Bangladesh made it really bad as well. Because I went to get my mother from Bangladesh.
Oh, you went to see your mum in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I went to my mom in Bangladesh and I brought her back with me. I just couldn't leave her there. I was like, Mom, even though like we're going back to a conflict zone, like I would still prefer it there than
But this was during the conflict.
Yeah. I said then staying in Bangladesh, because it really what I realized is what makes a country and what makes a culture is its people, essentially. As much as the region plays a matter, the economics, the poverty and how much wealth, all these things make a difference. Being in the Emirates, I've noticed a lot of wealth here, but it's the people that has caused me to stay. It's the cave, the brotherhood, the people's mentality here that's made me think, I like staying here. When I went to Bangladesh, even though there was abject poverty there, it wasn't the poverty that turned me off. It wasn't the way they were living that turned me off. It was the people that I came across and the people that I met. And this is coming from someone who is Bengali as well.
Have you lived there ever?
Yeah, I've lived there previously for many weeks. And then I realized that there's an inherent, and I think it might be because of this recent change of politics or whatever, there was a lot of inherent, for want of a better word, greed happening there at the moment.
What city is that?
I was in Sylhet. I went to Sylhet.
But do you think it's appropriate to generalize? I mean, I assume you probably like what was the population of Bangladesh?
It's huge. I think it's like
That's why I asked the city, because sometimes you can narrow it down.
How
It's one of the
many
most densely
would you say that
populated,
you
but-
met or you interacted
No,
with?
yeah. So this of course is a
Because
general.
I know people that have said that they've come here and they felt like people were stuck up, no one wanted to link up.
Yeah,
But it's like
absolutely.
you didn't. Like, where were you trying to meet people?
So yeah, no, 100%. So this is my own
go to the
personal
masjid.
experience. Yeah. So this is my own personal experience,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm saying across the board. From I went to the bazaars, I went to the masajids, I went to even my own relatives, and then strangers that I never met before. From my driver to the shopkeeper, it was a very general sense of almost individuality, and this is what I didn't like. And I mean, this is a personal experience, but it kind of really put me off a little bit. And then when I came back here again, I saw the opposite. Camaraderie again, and this kind of uplifted my spirits. But I would say from these two angles, one was definitely the best experience of my life in terms of Ramadan, this opportunity to go Umrah, and this region in particular made it easy.
You're right, Sheikh. I just want to mention, because I have to defend my Bengali peoples, Pakistani, Bengalis, we're united now. What is, Sheikh, is probably community, right? Like here, you have a community here, you don't have a community there. I mean, that's what it is. People anywhere can be bad, could be good. It's just where you've got your community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me,
Very localized.
when I go Pakistan, I realize, and I like Pakistan.
And where do you go?
I go to Lahore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lahore is like the place.
I like Pakistan.
Yeah.
I really feel
Same. I love it.
I feel more at home in Pakistan than anywhere in the world. Like, little naan, roti, chai. You know what
It's
I'm
like
saying?
home. It's home.
But bro, no, let me land. If I'm there for a few days, I start getting so frustrated with the people, and I realize I actually don't fit in anywhere in the world. I don't fit here. I don't fit UK.
Identity
I don't
crisis.
Fit, I know. But the only place I fit is with the Mandem.
Which is
Wherever
wherever
the man-
Anywhere.
Just the Mandem. that Sifa Mandem.
Allah barik.
The people, isn't it?
Guys
The
that
brothers.
guys that understand, that are street smart, that have seen life experience,
On the deen.
Yeah, millennials most likely.
Yeah.
Gen Z just slips in.
So what about the UK where you're born and raised?
No. It's
the
specific.
people, yeah.
It's
the people, not the place.
And those guys, they will come to Dubai.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Everything we've said here, none of it's really reflective. It's all descriptive. Even for myself, I'm not giving any deep analytical thought in this. Because I could probably change my view if I was sit there and reflect on it for a longer period of time.
Because that's the thing. I've been
It's
to
very
Pakistan,
descriptive,
and I've linked up with the mandem.
Subhanallah.
There's man that migrate to Pakistan. You know what I'm saying?
And there's mandem that are Pakistani born in Pakistan, but it's still mandem because
Literally.
they just, I don't know, somehow they just become mandem.
Because there's a decline.
You're mandem.
But there's a decline.
My dad's mandem.
In Pakistan, for example, like in Pakistan, when I went to Karachi a couple of years back, compared to when I went like several years ago, I can see a clear decline. Everyone there agrees as well.
Decline
I don't
what?
just keep that decline. Just overall, the economy, the roads, the people's, as you said, like greed, individual. But then everyone agrees with me as well.
But
It's
that's
like,
everywhere though. I've seen that in the UK.
no, but that's not here, for example.
You know what?
And so Karachi, that's why I like to narrow it down. Even the suburban Karachi, Clifton. It's like, okay, this place is decline. I asked my dad, he's like, yeah, real estate's going down. We got to get out of here. I asked people, we go to people's businesses. They're like, yeah, we're moving to Lahore, to Islamabad. But so usually there's a general decline, but then an individualized experience, you got to verify with the actual locals.
But I'll tell you something. Because now, the same way we came to defend Bangladesh, have to defend Pakistan. Well, I'm not nationalist, I promise you. I hate that stuff. Interestingly, who would have thought, that the people, the country that would be at the stage of brokering world peace right now would be Pakistan.
Mad, isn't it?
He's not negotiating between Iran and America.
I
Wallahi, when I read that, I still can't take it seriously, bro.
mean, I don't know how authentic these negotiations are. For me, it's just another stall tactic.
You know what's interesting?
No,
They
but
usually do,
the fact that Pakistan is even, bro,
Stepped into the
they're
arena.
in, bro,
Yeah.
like they're in that stage.
But it's in their interest. It's very important.
Of course,
Yeah.
but
You know what's
is
interesting?
good, which
Many
is good.
countries that have been historically very peaceful, that should be the brokers of peace around the world, that have the Muslim majorities, that have strong governments, that have strong militaries. These are the governments are not. I'll give you Indonesia is a perfect example. This is a country that's not been heavily involved in any sort of war situations historically, in modern
They
history.
get hit with a lot of natural disasters.
They get hit
though.
a lot of natural disasters, yeah, but in terms of causing conflict, they don't do that. They have a fairly strong economy, they have a very big Muslim population, they have a decent military, they have all of these things, but these are the people that are never really invited to broker peace. It's always the warmongers and the people that have very little experience managing these sort of situations that tend to get their noses stuck in further. Like Pakistan, all due respect, it's an opportunity. But in recent history,
But some areas are bangers too, man.
Huh?
So
Sorry?
like Islamabad is booming.
No,
economy-wise,
I'm not talking economy.
people-
Historically speaking, what have they been involved in? And it's always the warmongers that seem to come to the table and say, we're going to create peace. Like in our own history, bro, in modern history, I'm talking now in our father's lifetimes.
But one second.
We saw the
war, you're talking about Pakistan's wars?
Pakistan. For
Is
example,
India?
He's Pakistani as well. So
I'll give you an
he can
example.
speak
Yeah,
about
one
it.
of the most horrific
I mean,
ones in
recently,
recent
for
history.
example, it was India that attacked us. And
Afghanistan as well. Afghanistan is attacking us.
In
But what I'm
return,
talking is
Afghanistan, I'm not involved in that. They're my brothers.
No, but they attack.
I don't know about that.
But even, I mean,
But
let's talk historical context.
we took
then,
down their jets after the attack.
the civil war in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
That was in our father's lifetime. That was in recent memory. We're not talking about hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
We saw the death of 3 million Bangladeshi civilians essentially.
I didn't even know there was a civil war in Bangladesh.
Bro, 3 million,
That's how Bangladesh got
3
That's how it's
million
separated, right?
non-combatants.
How separated from Pakistan.
separated from Pakistan.
That was the civil war.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is that is always
Yeah, of
so
course, yeah.
brushed under the table. And
It's a
I
major
mean,
event.
yeah, and the mad thing is, well, that was in our father's lifetime. It wasn't like we're talking 100 years ago. So you've got, so many countries like this who come to the table, and Pakistan, just use it as an example. Yeah. Even when you look at all these other countries, these are all warmongering countries that want to come to the table and create peace now.
No, I don't know if I'm with that, man. I don't think having previous conflict
Has anything to do with
has
that?
should have that much of a bearing on whether you can broker peace or not. And I don't think peace is brokered by people that are peaceful. Personally, like I think, look, there was a country in the region. I don't want to mention its name out of respect because I actually think the country had very great intentions. They did great things, but they were just constantly trying to broker peace. Where did that get them? Right? Not that I'm saying you should stop trying to broker peace, but they didn't invest in having a very strong military and whatnot and so on and so forth. But they were always just trying to be. But when it push comes to shove, no one's gonna care.
See, my
Pakistan
point
is in a
isn't-
position to broker peace. And I think so. Why? Because they have nuclear weapons, bro.
See, my
They
point
can say,
isn't.
listen,
That's the
my
leverage.
yeah,
Yeah,
see, my
that's the
point isn't who should broker peace. My point is who shouldn't. This is my point.
Why?
These countries,
one necessitates
because-
the other.
I think it should be the
No,
powerful.
not necessarily. I think
should say
there is a criteria that fits for people that should be coming to the table.
Can I give you an example? All right. So when the Suez Canal crisis happened, when Egypt decided to take over, right? And previously it was basically administered and it was run by the British, right? So when they decided to take over, Britain and France were about to invade to take it back. America said back down. America, the most 1953, if I'm not mistaken, the most powerful country in the world, helped broker peace, and they were able to say, "Listen, brother, don't get involved. Leave it." Of course, they had their own vested
they
interests.
had their own
They
interests.
probably wanted the relationship and wanted
sure.
to, benefit the Suez
Upper hand.
Canal. Yeah, no doubt. But because they were in a position of power, Britain had just lost its position of power after World War II, taking a battering. Now they were able to say, "Hey, listen, back down." Likewise, I'm thinking right now with look, jokes aside, right? Like I said, I make fun of Pakistan sometimes because it's like just so people know I'm not a nationalist. But at the same time, I'm also scared to praise it sometimes, out of the fear of coming across like a nationalist. But swear about lies, I'm not. I'm talking as objectively as I possibly can here. Is that, bro? Pakistan being a nuclear power, bro? That is one of the biggest blessings Allah has given to the Muslim world. Right? The fact
It's the only Muslim country.
it's the only
Muslim country.
Muslim country.
And Israel and India tried so hard to
Prevent
prevent
it.
it from happening. So
But they have their
hard.
own uranium. That's the big.
Really, I didn't know that. You know, we should do an episode on this one day, inshallah. But the point here is that who benefits now? Saudi Arabia benefits from that, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Saudi Arabia benefits.
The whole region.
The whole region benefits from that. There was talk about Qatar getting involved in an alliance with Saudi
Even
Arabia.
I think it's
Saudi, I
very
think he
superficial.
Sorry?
I think that whole concept of the nuclear power is very superficial.
Why?
No, I know, because people
So-
saw the
so-
difference, saw the effect of
Let me
that
ask you a question. Do you think
in World War II.
if Iran had nukes, do you think America and Israel
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have
No,
exactly.
please, the
Good
best
point.
example.
So again, this is
not superficial,
this is the argument that's being made a lot. North Korea. The thing is, there's no real benefit right now from the.
By the way, what's the point you're making? Just so because I feel like maybe we're not even
I know,
disagreeing.
yeah.
What's the actual point?
Who should be involved in making the peace or
Okay, who do you believe should be?
Me personally, I don't think there's anybody on the world stage who can achieve it. I think
Achieve it
this,
is
So
a
then no one
secondary.
even
Achieving
attempts.
it is secondary.
So you think
No,
no
I
one should
think
even attempt?
No, I'm not thinking about attempt. I'm thinking is you've got people who are coming to the arena and who are being portrayed as these amazing peacekeepers and these amazing peace brokers. But I don't think they deserve that kind of praise.
For me,
I don't think they even being portrayed like
Pakistan,
know that Pakistan
they're
was
very
part
much
of it.
are in many circles, bro. Pakistan is being like we just said now.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
had a conversation now. We
Look,
we couldn't
I
have
don't-
never imagined.
don't mean
I
That
shut that down
looks
straight
like
away.
Pakistan.
I shut that down straight away. When he mentioned it, I said personally,
I didn't know that. He said it's
I
not
don't mean
authentic.
it's not authentic.
So
As
you
in,
know what I mean?
no, as in, I do believe they are involved in the process, but
Yeah.
I believe this whole process is just
I
staged
don't-
up.
yeah.
There's
There-
no
there's
real intention behind let's actually negotiate, so
Yeah.
they don't really care what's
no,
up.
so
PR.
my point was not to praise them from a moral perspective. My point was so
The fact that they're even involved, the fact that they went to them, you're
no,
saying.
my point. Look, Sheikh. So I look at all of these things from the lens of the Sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jal, right? Nations, they rise and fall, right? They rise and fall. Over the last 100, 200 years, the Muslims have been at the lowest point, right, in our history.
Wallahi.
But now we're starting to see a rise.
Alhamdulillah.
Right? Now we're starting to see a rise. Now, the rise could be economically, could be militarily. All of those rises are irrelevant if there's not a spiritual rise. The spiritual rise is the most important one.
And that's
right?
been there as well.
But it's happening. And here's the
When you
thing.
say the
right?
lowest, in what sense are we the lowest we've ever been?
Bro, Sheikh,
Apart from spiritually,
no, spiritually,
Yeah.
economically, Sheikh.
economically, we've never been more powerful. The
No, I'm
Muslims,
talking about the last.
the Muslims, are some of the most.
Yeah, but
richest
now-
people.
yeah.
Sheikh, now it's on that. I'm saying last 100-200 years.
He's comparing it to like just a century ago.
I'm talking about
When the golden age died, quote unquote,
the
our
ebbs
guys
and
got kicked
flows,
out.
right? The ebbs and flows of nations, the rise and fall, right? So when the colonists came, the colonizers came, they ransacked us, destroyed us, Sheikh. They raped our people.
And the
savage-
empire died. The empire died.
Everything,
recently, yeah.
everything died, Sheikh. Everything died, right? They came, they administered their democratic systems and whatever have you. So point being is that now we're on a rise, Sheikh. And here's the thing, like I said, all of this stuff is superficial in the sense where yes, unless it's spiritual, it's irrelevant. But in order for you to have spiritual growth, you need to have safety and stability. What's the first thing Ibrahim alayhi salam made dua for when he left his people, when he left his family?
Better than Amina.
I said, Allah, make this place safe. And then Allah protect us from the worshipping of idols.
They're connected.
Because you have safety, then spirituality thrives. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I'm looking at Sheikh, the entire Muslim world, right? The lion has its teeth out ready to bite us. But there's only one country that can say, hey, listen, we've got a very strong army, you know. It's worth you paying attention to us. It's worth you paying attention to us. And not only that, we've signed a treaty with Saudi Arabia. Don't mess with them. Of course, none of them have invoked that treaty, right? Because even though Iran has attacked Saudi and there's been issues with Pakistan and Afghanistan, no one's invoked the treaty.
It's very serious,
right?
That's escalation.
Yeah. But point being is, the fact that that's there. And now Turkey's talking. You're Turkey, bro. I'm impressed, man. I love it.
The thing is, Erdogan, I've heard before Erdogan was there, praying Salah had become haram in the blue mosque, is it? In Istanbul's blue mosque, you couldn't pray. There was no Salah being established.
They opened
Hagia Sophia or something.
There's basically like hijab like that was an issue in Turkey before Erdogan came.
We attended the first Taraweeh in Hagia Sophia in over 200 years.
Yeah.
When it first
This was in 2020, just around COVID. Just before COVID.
It was insane.
It's mad.
It was crazy.
So
that's an improvement.
100%. Look, I don't stand behind personalities because I don't know individuals.
We're not speaking about personalities.
But I meant like in terms of their military industrial complex.
Yeah.
Bro, like they make jets, bro.
Yeah.
They like
5th generation as well.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting intro. Side quest.
You mentioned you sent your family to the UK.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind that?
A focus for me personally. I wasn't really fearful for them because I'm very prepared, as most of you know. But in the sense that I lost focus, you know. Like I wasn't spending as much time
Ibadah or work?
No, work mainly, yeah. Ibadah probably went up, bro, if anything. You know, you're starting to ask Allah for more protections. You know, there's that saying, isn't there? There's no atheists in foxholes. I think this, if anything, one of the positivities from this conflict should have been for us personally.
You're closer.
Getting close to Allah, you
100%.
know. Without a doubt, I think we kind of get lost in the strategy of doing this and doing that and protections and getting out, and we forget that look, all of this means nothing without if Allah just wills it against us. So one of the things I lost focus on was work, definitely. You know, I just wasn't spending time in, because I live in Sharjah and I worked in Dubai, so I just was like staying at home more, you know,
To be close to the
family, just wondering, oh, okay, do I need to go into work? Do I need to go see that person? And I said, you know what, this is just taking just too much of my attention and focus, you know. So I said, look, you guys get on a plane, go back home, go back to the UK. I just know that you're out of harm for now. I don't have to stress. And if anything does go south, then it's easier for me to move on my own than with my whole family.
Did you guys experience something similar when it first kicked off and it started and you were considering and thinking? And
Yeah, so look, obviously, so one of the things that I really came to grips with, or I just tried to ponder a lot over, is the concept of risk, right?
risk
Assessment. So there's two types of risk. There's voluntary and involuntary.
Mm-hmm.
So voluntary risk is when I present myself to risky situations. Involuntary is when it wasn't my choice; it came on me.
How can you jump on a jet ski and fly straight into rocks?
Thank you.
Right.
That's voluntary risk.
I guess. No, it was. Yeah. Voluntary risk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was driving one-handed, so
If you're like any decent Muslim out there, I know you wish you understood the Arabic language so that you could connect with the Quran. Do you know how long it took me to learn the Arabic language? It took me like 7-8 years. And you know why I'm kind of upset about that? It's because I've recently come across Ijada Institute, which has students speaking Arabic in 6 months. In 6 months. So I was mind blown. So I decided to connect with the founder and the teacher, Sheikh Abdurrahman, and I asked him, how did you do it? And he built a system, Allah Barik, that focuses specifically on teaching those that are non-Arab speakers living in the 21st century, i.e. our context, how to study Arabic. Most of the programs that you're going to see out there in the books were not even designed for Westerners or non-Arab speakers. And if they were designed back in the 90s and the early 2000s. This is a program that's mind-blowing. I actually listened into one of the calls that they have with the students. They log on and they talk to each other and they talk about their day. And I was like, wow, these brothers and sisters, of course, there's no free mixing. They are talking in fluent Arabic in 6 months. Now, of course, you have to put the hard work and you have to do the work, but you can just focus, just doing a small amount every single week. And within 6 to 12 months, inshallah ta'ala, you're going to be proficient. And then there's going to be that moment where you're going to be in salah, you're going to be reciting Quran, And it's going to come and you're not expecting, I promise. But you're going to relate to an ayah and it's going to touch your heart in a way. It's going to bring tears to your eyes. And that's going to be the beginning of your relationship with the speech of Allah. So if you want an Arabic Studies Institute that, inshallah ta'ala, works as far as I'm concerned, and within 6 to 12 months you want to be speaking Arabic and then, inshallah, understanding the speech of Allah, then apply to join Ijada Institute at the link below, inshallah ta'ala. So the difference is that when it's a voluntary risk, you have control, seemingly, over the situation. Involuntary, you do not have control. So a lot of the times we present ourselves to a lot of risks every day. Like, for example, driving a car. The likelihood of you dying when you jump in a car
Compared to like a metro or...
compared to being at home
Okay.
doubles. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Statistically, doubles.
I would have thought it would
That was
be
be more than double.
No,
yeah.
no, as a well, at
How are you
least in
going to die at
America.
home?
No, globally, if I'm not mistaken, it's a global stat. Double check. There's a guy called Smil Viklav. He's a scientist and a mathematician. Very good books. Talks about how the world works from like very natural kind of ways and so on, like from like a scientific way. Anyway, he has a whole chapter in this book called How the World Really Works about risk assessment. So he's got a lot of stats there. Anyway, point being is that but you're safer in a plane, but you feel more dread in the plane. You know why? Because you're not in control of the steering wheel. So what happened in this situation
But
was,
even when you're a passenger, you feel more dread because you're not in
Exactly.
control. Even if you're a crazier driver.
When you were a passenger, I put dread through you. Bro.
yeah, so but you were driving.
I wouldn't call that driving. I don't know what it was.
So basically, when this thing happened, is that it took me a moment to realize, hey, listen, we're actually safer being in Dubai than we are being in the UK.
Absolutely.
There are people being murdered every single day
Absolutely.
in the UK.
Absolutely.
53 murders a day in America, right? Whereas there's missiles over our heads, there's debris falling, but
Obviously, population plays a
No,
big
but
part
even
of that as well,
even
right?
after taking population to control.
no, I took
Yeah,
this
after
stat.
population.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on the cave and we mentioned the stats. It's ridiculously low.
Yeah.
It's
No,
ridiculous.
as in I'm
Even
saying-
taking into
No,
account
we
population.
took into account
Like
population.
you
Yeah,
put it
we
at
took-
the same size and you compare.
Yeah, we took into account. But you're 150 times more likely to die off of a gun crime in America than you are to be
Adjusted for population.
adjusted for population than you are to be hit here. So we actually did a podcast on it. I forget the numbers now. Anyways, point being is that so it took me a moment to be like, 1 second, this is actually not as risky as being in the
It's
UK.
true. It's true. That's okay. Even like my family, because obviously the media was portraying it as like literally you're in a war zone. Like I had my mother-in-law, my mom, like worrying like what's it? I was like,
Because in the
listen,
region
it's
that was
calm.
happening, bombs were dropping in the region. People were
No, yeah, but I was like, listen, it is calm. In fact, I was saying that like it is more harmful or it's more risky rather because some of the family members were saying, why don't you guys come back? I was like, no, like it's more
safer than you.
Yeah, like number one in terms of physical safety and the risk attached to that. But two, in terms of like my child, like for them to be in that environment, that's a bigger risk. The way I
100%.
see it, and the way I mean, it might sound a bit mad, but like
It's mental warfare.
Yeah, and I would rather my family die in a Muslim country
100%.
than live in a non-Muslim country
100%.
in the current way that we see it.
100%.
Like I would not want my family to live there at all. Like my mom, sorry, not my mom, my wife. She, you know, there's I don't know, I think it's a Facebook group called Muslim Mamas or something like that. And she was saying like,
Panic.
no.
Okay, my bad.
It's a British one. So in the UK, like she's saying almost every, I can't remember if she said week or day, whatever. She sees a new post. And my mom's posting, I don't know what to do. My child is 7 years old and he's saying he wants to be LGBTQ.
You know, it reminds me of the hadith.
Like, and she's saying like, she's seeing this like it's
Widespread.
prevalent.
Whilst on the flip side, my daughter, by Allah's fadl and tawfiq, you know when you asked me one of the best Ramadans, I forgot to mention, is because of the family element. So, can I just take a side question? But it really backs this point up.
Go for it.
But I just want to remind the hadith based on this is where Allah, the Prophet ﷺ says that the difference between the one who does dhikr of Allah and doesn't is like the dead and the alive. So you'd rather be alive in a Muslim country where you can hear the adhan, you have the elements of deen, where in a country where you don't have the dhikr of Allah, it's like you're dead.
100%.
What's the point of being alive?
You're already dead.
Already
It's
dead.
already. The Prophet said, pray your salah in your house. لا تجعلوا بيوتكم قبورا. Don't make your houses what?
Graves.
Graves. Pray in your houses, right? As in you should pray your sunnah. Imagine the whole country's like a grave. There's no salah prayed. No, you know what I'm saying? There's just a few pockets where there's masajid.
Alhamdulillah, a lot more people are waking up now. I'm getting guys that I never would have imagined. would be wanting to like
Move
get
here.
out of the UK and okay, come here, like
London.
come here. Yeah, I was shocked.
You know, one thing I will say though, like, you know, because we've used this word conflict zone, war zone, missiles being dropped. This is not a conflict zone, guys.
It's not.
That was my
That's what I'm
point.
saying, it's not.
That was my
Like,
point.
That's the whole point.
Like, I like
If
just
you can
just
order a
like,
pizza, what is it?
yeah.
If you can order a pizza,
Like,
get
like,
it in
honestly,
15
man, like,
You know, the rain
I-
is what stopped Talabad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The rain,
Honestly,
the
bro.
rain stopped it. Bro.
The rain is danger.
And even then, they were still going.
You know, they're still going, bro. Like, you know,
That
I
is such a deep point.
you know, I was in Iraq in 2005. I was in Afghan 2007, Iraq again 2009, and even that we didn't consider it a full-on conflict zone. And when I mean talking about mortar hitting the building, there was no interceptors. There was literally you sat there, windows already missing.
I don't think you can even intercept mortar, can you?
No, but as in like there was no interception systems there at all. You just took the fire.
Mortars
And-
bullets, right?
No, the mortars are like just like.
It's like a grenade,
bombs,
basically.
projectiles,
They
you know,
just-
that explode there. You put it in and it flies out towards you. We were literally having, you know, sandbags to block water. We had sandbag blocks
bullets.
to stop
Explosions.
bullets and stop explosions, literally. Shrapnel and the works. And there's so many times that you're in the building and you're running from one room to the other because this room just and you go back to this room and nothing left in this room.
You know what? Obviously, you were there deployed as a soldier, right? So you were there, like yourself with your unit, fully geared equipment. Imagine the guys that were living there.
Yeah.
They got their kids, they got their daughters, they got their
Their
wives,
entire
like,
life.
their entire life. Like, I mean, like this is definitely
yeah,
a war zone.
that is a
This is
war
definitely
zone.
a war
You know what we've just seen the genocide in Gaza recently. That's a war zone. What we've got here, bro. Yes, we're being attacked, but you know what? The government has done a very good job in terms of defending us, and they've made it almost seamless to the point where we've not noticed anything.
And we don't pay no taxes.
And we're not paying taxes, bro. It's madness.
fireworks
That is
there, man.
crazy, bro. The fact that we're there.
And we're not actually like citizens.
Yeah, like
But
it's
they
madness.
still
So
take it.
like
We don't pay tax.
yeah, so from that perspective, subhanAllah, that's incredible, I think. I think one of the problems that we've had is in this region is people's fear response. So you've had people flying back to the UK and saying, oh, it's a war zone, war zone, war zone. And you've had people saying, you know what, it's just chill. It's all right, man. You know, we're going to bunker down.
And you wanted to mention that for your daughters.
Sorry,
your
yeah,
analysis.
you say what you're saying, sorry.
You finish this point, then I'll come back to it because
Mine's a long point, bro. Go on, you.
I don't.
You started it
Yeah.
up. You
Sorry,
started
okay,
it.
Yeah,
right.
let it land.
So I just wanted to kind of give people a bit of insight into why this is happening, why you've got these two categories of people. Some people heading out and running, and some people saying, nope, we're gonna stick to our guns and stay here, and this is home now. And what we can do to prevent this becoming PTSD type issues, traumatic issues, because this will happen for a lot of people. Right now, it's not happening. And I'm going to explain why it's not happening right now, because people are still dealing with the fear response. The next stage of this is where it settles in, becomes traumatic and PTSD. You start waking up thinking, oh, is there a missile going to be hitting me now, even though this war's over? You know, so the first side of it is understanding why this is happening. Okay, so
I just got an image in my head of like a grandma in some English village in 100 years saying, I was in Dubai, 2026. I was on the Palm. And the kids are there like, wow. tell
quite
us more,
literally,
what
yeah,
happened? I was
absolutely.
running today.
You know?
I had to jump on the wing of an airplane. Hold on until we got to the...
You know, quite literally, yeah, no, exactly.
Nice.
So, you know, and in order to understand this a bit better, I'm just going to break down a little bit of the biology first, because oftentimes when you understand the biology, it's more easy to understand why something's happening. So from the biological perspective, we have something called the amygdala in the brain. The amygdala is part of the brain, it controls a fear response. Okay, that directly stimulates two parts: your parasympathetic nervous system and your sympathetic nervous system. One controls your exciting response, and the other one controls calms you down. Okay. Now, you have something called it's a conditional response and an unconditional response, and depending on your top-down control, how you tell your body to deal with it, it will deal with it. So now is the time for you to work on your top-down control whilst this is all happening. I'm sure you've all heard of something called Pavlov's dogs and Pavlovian training. This is where they get these concepts from, where one is the conditional response, i.e., for example, they use the bell and food. Yeah, the food was the unconditional. The dog saw the food and salivated. Oh, the food looks so good, like many humans do. Yeah, the bell was the conditional response. They tried to link the two together. So eventually what happens is even when we get rid of the unconditional, we get rid of the food, the response of the bell still makes the dog salivate.
Okay.
That was all Pavlovian
So
training.
when you hear sounds, you can be like,
Yeah, exactly. So we have an element of that. We have an element of Pavlovian concepts within
Shall I
our
tell you
brain.
what I did for that? And I'll let you make your point. I just stopped caring. I stopped reacting. I realized, I'm reacting. Even though I get a notification
That's
now,
the top down.
So this is the top-down control. So this is the top-down
yeah,
control.
ignore
Exactly.
it.
So what you have to do is you have to develop. So we have an additional response to ourselves. You know, we have extra parts of the brain, you know, that allow us to control these responses a bit better. Now, this can happen two ways. One, it can be built up with small incidents. Yeah. So for example, you get in a car, You know, you get in Abu Nu's car and you get in the first time and you think, oh, this is a bit of a scary drive. You know, and you think, okay, but I can handle it. And then you get in again and it's the same crazy drive, and you get in again and it's even worse. And then you see the video of him going flying off and you think, this guy definitely can't drive, yeah? And this builds up a fear response. So then eventually you've got the trauma of whenever I see Abu Nu in a car, I'm scared. Yeah?
Or even outside the car.
Yeah, outside the car, you're scared.
Bro, we literally drove, you know, from the Afghani restaurant near Saula, from there to the masjid. That was it. It was just literally straight and then right.
And the cops are about to be called on me.
Really?
Wow.
Bro, forget all cops, bro. You almost killed someone, bro.
I thought I was being careful.
So that's one way.
Bro, I've got too many black points. I'm going to get my license banned very soon.
Or you could have an isolated incident, that one-off incident where you're like, no, that's it. This is traumatizing me for life now. Okay, both of them is something we're experiencing right now. So if you look at what's happening, some people are like, for example, in Sharjah, it's quite different in sense that we kind of hear a lot about what's happening in Dubai and Iraq, and we don't really see it that often. Or when you come into Dubai, you experience it every now and then. And this kind of builds up this, and eventually you get to the point thinking, damn, man. And then when you do hear one in Sharjah, you're like, whoa, everyone's messaging you in the group.
So how long does that take to build up?
Everyone varies, but it's a build up.
It could be one incident?
So the one incident is people that in Dubai are getting more because they're so close to that incident that it's giving them that one boom, and then that's all it takes them to get off on a plane.
Yeah, that's
that one. Whereas we're hearing about it so close to proximity. So we're literally 20 minutes drive.
Me personally, I don't know anyone in my personal circle that left.
Mashallah.
But no, what do you mean by that? You mean like send their family away or like permanently left?
Just left.
Just ditched, yeah.
Like left permanently.
Yeah, just left. I don't know anyone.
Sending the family away is different, right?
This sort of a situation, as bad as it is, it's not. It's a good opportunity for you to trial run some of these scenarios. Like for example, what did I trial run? Like I was woefully unprepared. I have my bug out pack ready all the time. Anyway, since the day I arrived, wherever I go in the world, I have this bug out pack ready.
I'm still.
You still need to make your bug out pack. I
No, you sent me a list, but it was so.
No way.
You sent, but I asked,
what does it include?
You know, that's the basics.
Like food and water?
If you see the car's ready for 3 months.
His car looks
But you know
ready.
what? Like a bug out bag. This is what I learned, right? Is going to be very different. For number one, for each person, based on your personal needs.
Your diapers.
Number two, what are you going to be bugging out for? Like that's one thing you need to realize, because if a guy, if you're watching a YouTube video and the guy lives in, you know, urban America,
you're gonna have ammo.
In one of the or in one of the, and it's also like what you like. Some people, they're prepping for doomsday. They're waiting for the zombies to come. That's what they're bugging out. Other people, they live in a place where there's a lot of natural disasters, so their bug out bag is okay. If the grid goes down and we need to, what are we gonna do? Some people live near a nuclear reactor where so it's all about, like, for example, technically that rucksack there I would consider it a bug, but it's just to do with the rain, basically. I've got a waterproof rain jacket in there. I've got an umbrella in there. I've got my, those Vivo barefoot, the ones that I bought for the Oman canyoning.
Vivo,
so those, I don't need to worry about my feet getting drenched because they are actually, they're not waterproof. They're water.
It's like a sock.
It's like, no. It's not a sock. It's got holes in it. Like water will just go through it.
Yeah.
So as in, I don't need to worry about it being waterproof or water going in.
It's rubber.
Breathable water will just drain out. It's like it's just basically like having plastic on your foot with holes in it. You know, a torch that actually came in handy that the other day I actually needed. There's small things like that. So what you're bugging out, like, you got to think about, because think about it, yeah. Most people, when they talk about bug out, especially in the American, they're talking about something crazy happens. You need to go live in the, you know, in the wild for 3 days. You got to catch fish and catch this. That. But here in the desert, bro, where are you going? You're going to go in the sand and what are you going to try and catch? What are you going to try and catch in the sand? There's no fish that, like. So you got to think about, okay, cool. So what are you going to do if X, Y, Z happens? What's your actual plan going to be? So if you realize, wait, I'm just going to be, for example, I'm going to drive to Saudi, for example. Okay, then you might not actually technically need a bug out bag per se. You need a bug out car.
Your car needs to be ready, 100%.
So you got to look at all these different things and think, what is the situation that I'm preparing for? And because some people might be like, I'm bugging out, like, there's going to be bullets flying around. Realistically, that's not going to happen.
Is it natural for a man to start getting excited when you say these things? Because I don't want bad for anyone, but I want to experience that.
So there's a part of this is what I mentioned. It's one of the things I said to you guys as well, right?
Booker's point here, so because that was my problem. My bug out pack was always ready from the UK times, my other travels, etc. And it wasn't until this conflict that I thought, damn, man, I'm actually not ready. And then I found myself, like, one of the mornings waking up, trying to run around getting stuff. And then I realized stuff like that I need is not actually available on the shelves. Like the power station that I needed, and
really,
yeah.
I didn't experience anything like that.
Well, I one of the things I looked for was a large scale power station with solar panels. So it was all available online, but none of it was available on the shelves. You have to wait 2 days for it to
like
come
groceries
in.
wise.
No, groceries. No. Groceries. Like, I mean, I couldn't find MREs anywhere. milk ration packs. I couldn't
I
find
don't
them
even know what that
anywhere.
was.
You don't have that in this country.
Why do you expect
Yeah.
that to have us to have that stuff? bro?
Yeah, but
We put food on the table. That's what we do,
You
man.
have to order from America.
We got
Take
food
that
on the
to
table.
Amazon.
like even something as simple as water purification tablets.
That's not simple. I don't know what that
I'm
is.
so
Why
surprised.
do you need
But
that?
you know, I was shocked. A lot of brothers have that.
You got the water filter system. That's why we connected to our
but
tap water.
No, but just in case,
Bro,
just in case.
when
Take
you're
the
not in the
iodine tablets. To be honest, that I was shocked.
That was
So you
shocked.
put that like
Find
in
that.
rainwater and it's gonna filter it.
Yeah, rainwater.
I don't know the
Bro,
details,
there's
but-
so many different ways. Like, for example, I could take sewage water, I could filter it through 2-3 different systems I can handmade now and now.
Okay.
But then to kill off the bacteria, I need some iodine tablets and purification
You're gonna
tablets.
boil it.
You know, I really want to share with you my risk thing, yeah? Because I want to give people some balance here. I want to give them a different perspective.
He's like, I don't care about what's happening.
No. I mean, I not exactly. So coming back to the point I was making originally, there's the dread of things that you can't control, right? So what I realized was day one, I was like, okay, this is a bit like, what the hell's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? So immediately I did slightly bug out, and I was like, wait 1 second, what's the move? You know,
As in, you mean bug out as in bug out, not bug out as in leave.
no.
Because bug out is a very specific term.
No.
It means
Okay.
to leave your house.
No.
Bug out.
No, I mean bug out as in what we say in the ends.
Yeah.
I bugged out.
I bugged out.
I was like, what the hell's going on? I'll be honest with you. Look, I don't talk about it a lot, yeah. But I live through the lens of eschatology,
What's that?
end of times.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't talk about it a lot because I don't like to scare people. and so on.
Musafir, true Musafir.
Is that from the arrivals days?
No. It's just
Okay.
it's just what I know from the hadith.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just and so look, here's the thing, right? When you know the hadith and your understanding of the hadith keeps growing, likewise, you know the world and your understanding of the world keeps growing. And the thing that I did over the last year is really dive into wanting to understand how the world works. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, I don't even talk. I'll be honest with you, brothers. I don't talk about 99% of what goes through my mind. I really don't. So in my mind, I'm
You
like,
should.
to certain people.
honestly, brothers, I feel like Abu Hurairah when he said, if I told you a lot of what I know, you would have cut my neck off. But not like
This your
that.
guy.
Huh? And the point being
Covered him.
is because I don't look at things in terms of what's happening. I look at, wait,
Where's this going?
where's this going? And I don't look at where it's going from. This is the thing that annoys me about that. Professor Jing, you know, the guy that everyone's saying is a
the
prophet.
viral
of
guy
politics.
now, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bruv, you don't understand what we know from the Sunnah of Allah and from the Hadith about the end of time.
100%.
So, anyways, put that to aside. Initially, that was my reaction, and then I realized, you know what? Wait, this is actually not a risky situation. Yes, that could be the case. Future, things might be going there, but as it stands right now, I don't need to bug out. So I had to readjust my understanding of fear, which I think is a powerful. And by the way, it applies in investments, business, everything as well. Because sometimes there's something that you can't control, and it's actually less riskier than something that you can control, but you voluntarily present yourself to that, and you've got to basically make the jump based on the appetite. Now, I did initially think to myself, okay, cool, because of all the kalam that was going on, let me just get rid of the family.
Okay.
So I could be, because in my mind, I'm like, listen, I'm now feeling like I'm in an adventure zone because we're having conversations, bug out bags. Ibrahim's talking about, listen, I've got the chartered flight ready if we need to fly out.
Lumbar.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I got a chartered flight for the cave guys. We're going to go to one of 5 neutral destinations. You don't need visa. You can get it on arrival. This is, we have a little,
man,
people don't know, but we have a group called the Afia group, right? And we call it Afia, which is, you know, safety and security. It's tafa'ul, optimism. In there, we've got him, we've got Ubaid, who's also ex-special ops. We've got brother Ibrahim. We got brother Abdurrahman, who has a defense company. Point being is all these guys to kind of like brainstorm. What do we do in the situation? We had a brother who's inside the cave. He said, I've got a compound in Turkey. If things go left, this is the route.
We had
Go
the
through
route
here.
planned out, didn't we?
My guy will
Yeah,
meet you
bro,
in
we had the
Iraq.
route
He'll
planned
take
out.
you out. He goes, I've told.
Yeah. He did the route, didn't he? He did it.
He did it.
That's
He
it,
did it.
yeah.
He didn't.
No, that was his backup. He's in Mecca.
He's in
That's
Makkah.
so,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so manly thing. to do.
My
But through
point is,
Iraq and stuff, wasn't it, bro?
the brothers in the cave don't know because we didn't want to create fear and
Yeah,
panic.
which is good.
But we had it all set up.
It was very good.
And we literally went through.
We were talking about getting a compound in
In Al Ain.
In Al Ain, yeah. In case if anything
he
does go
went there,
crazy.
visited it. He was
Allah
like,
Akbar.
and
Ain is smart. It's
bro,
very
he was,
smart.
bro. Until we heard that you're
Like
not
a
allowed
big
to like,
compound,
board.
like a 9 bedroom villa with big area. So if anyone,
That's the perfect area.
everyone had to go there.
It's the least conflict.
Yeah, like brothers, you can leave your
Allah
cars
Akbar.
there. If you go from there, you can go to Oman. The
And
border's
it's not,
right
it's not
there.
like the desert. You actually have like wadis, oasis.
Yeah,
and-
you can drive to Saudi from there as
Nakheel.
well. Yeah, so
Oh my
we were like
God.
taking that into consideration for the cave.
For the cave.
So mad.
Remember that route that we found, the side, bro?
Yeah,
that
the
was-
hub
So
to the
we
border
got
all
a
the
plan
way.
A, plan B. He went there. He went to visit the compound and everything. So anyway, point being is, as that's happening, I'm like, right, okay, I'm in an adventure zone, and I'm like, this is an opportunity, a new marketing angle for the cave. So I started making ads. I started making ads from this angle. Yeah. So I was like, but let me get rid of the family. Right. And just so you know, in your mind, you're not stressing. Then my wife said something to me, and I can't lie, bro. I'm so proud of her because I didn't expect this from her because she's come from a life of stability, safety. When she married me, bro, man's unstable. You get me? So I brought so much stress.
Man's
in,
unstable isotope.
Yeah. So it was a big, like, what the hell's going on? So in my mind, I thought straight away, this is going to be long for her. So I was like, listen, I'm going to send you man back. And she was like, no, as a family, let's ride it out. And, you know, from like a woman's perspective, and you're hearing everyone online and this, that, I was like, wow, okay. So if that's the case, let's firm it. Bro, you know what? It turned out to be the best Ramadan for us as a family.
Allahu Akbar.
As a family. And I also realized the importance, because, bro, there was moments.
I think a big part of that of her being that, having that attitude would come down to how she saw you.
So that's what I'm
Like
going
if
to
you were panicking
Yeah.
and like, you know,
100%.
it would have triggered it in her.
That's
as
literally
well.
the point that I'm coming at. You know what this thing made me realize? The importance of the man being an anchor. I can't lie to you, brothers. There were some times I heard a couple of things, and as naturally, my amygdala kicks off and my fear response kicked in. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
As in news or bangs?
But it could be a bang, could be a news, because you know the sound. You know, the sounds get louder the closer they are to you, right? So the Address Hotel got hit, which is my view. In the
I don't know why it's a Pakistani thing for us. We just go and see it like.
Not only that, Samatar lives there in that building. So I'm like, that's one of my boys lives there. Do you know what I'm saying? And he had just left. He just left. So my point is that, so these things are happening. I'm starting to get stressed, and I can't lie. You stress me a lot. I feel good. You're saying things to me, this, that. We're getting inside information coming from certain circles. So, but you can't let them see that. You can't let them see that. And I realized I'm stressed, but I'm just calming them down. I remember Wael said something deep to me, because as I was talking to him, he's one of the brothers.
I know he was prepping well, man.
I was trying to
He's thinking real.
make a decision. Like, what do we do? This, that. We started talking about the kids. So he's like, how are your kids finding? I was like, have you spoken to your kids? Did you tell them that there's missiles? Do you want to stress them? Do you not? He's like, brothers, how you position it, right? And I said to him, he's like, how's your daughter finding it? Because she's 6 and she's got sensory issues, so she panics. You know, this, that, some things happen. I said, bro, she doesn't even know that there's missiles being fired. So then she had a bangs. I said, bro, we live in an area where there's construction everywhere. And she has loud sounds all day, every day. So he was like, look how powerful that is in terms of perspective.
SubhanAllah.
Right? That a little kid, because their reality is a certain way, they are not nervous. They don't feel that sense of dread because it's just another. Literally, the bangs are just a loud sound. It's the same as what you would hear on a construction site. Anyways, now coming back to me, so I've been pulled in 2 different directions when it comes to this risk thing. Yeah. So I had initially, when I made this group, I made it with a nice balance of people. Right. So we had Dr. Imran, because of your years in the military, right? And if people may or may not be aware, but your stuff used to go into the Prime Minister's desk, right? Your reports. You had that level, you had the highest level. Say again?
Like in the intelligence corps.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Of course, he's made Toba. I always have to make that disclaimer because someone's going to say something. But point being is that you've got that understanding, right? Then we've got Brother Ubaid, who's ex-special ops. He was actually in Pakistan at the time when the whole Bin Laden thing happened. And he was told to shut down Islamabad with him and 20 of special ops guys if things go left. Of course, he's made Toba as well. Of course, he's left. Point being is that these are these guys. Then we had Brother Abdurrahman, who's got a defense company, right? He does drone manufacturing. He's got defense contracts with air forces around the world. Then we had businessmen inside of there, like guys that have been in conflict zones. Brother Ibrahim's been in South Africa during the riots. He's been in Turkey when there was problems. Guys that have a good scope, understanding. So I had a nice balance. And wallahi, if you look at the group, brother, it was split in half. Right? Yes, some guys. So him being ex-military man, it's like, listen, it's about to go down. I've got everything ready. My bags are ready. Everything. And then he's got his crowd in the group. Abu Bakr is his disciple.
Really? You know what, bro?
I would say I was way more
my
balanced.
perspective.
Okay, go on.
If I had to pick somebody, bro, to go to war with, like, immediately, I'd say, bro, because the guy's
So
These are the blues, man.
So then on the flip side, Ubaid is the total opposite. He's in Medina, and he's like,
he's coming back.
I'm coming back to Dubai. I'm
I
like,
miss Dubai.
with your daughter and 2 sons, with your little kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm messaging privately. I'm like, hey, you're special ops. Like, that's like the best army in the world, Like, what the hell's going on? Like, why are you so calm? What do you know that I don't know? Like, in my mind, even I'm thinking, what's going on? And he was like,
What are you about to say?
no.
Are you not? Are you colluding with them? Do you know the plan? Have they given you a heads up? What about to do?
No, of course not.
Are you giving them information?
No,
the
no,
targets?
stuff like that. But point is, in my mind, I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? So then I'm looking at Dr. Imran, literally every other messages. This, that, this is happening, expect this. I got this pack, I got this route, this. And then Ubaid's like, calm. Then I'm chatting to Sam. Sam's on the Ubaid camp. And then Ibrahim,
He was on the away captain. One day he just woke up and he just decided, yo,
Ibrahim phone call said, guys, I'm leaving at Maghrib.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
So
I
I'm
was
leaving.
sick, bro. I was ready that
It's
day,
funny
bro.
because we met the night before.
What happened that he said that?
So we met the night before and we said, yo, listen, what's our signal to leave? Because we don't want to be like frogs in a frying pan, in boiling water.
Boiling
You know,
water.
you slowly just end up dying.
Yeah.
So like, what's our signal to leave? And then we came to a few signals. One of them was because he's got some very senior connections, semi-government level, like high level people. Is that if my people say
Signal to me, yeah.
if we start seeing them leave, if we start seeing high level people leave, it's time to leave. So he calls the next day and he's like, listen. No, so I'm on the.
That's what Adam did, like with his embassy contact. The embassy contact left, and then he was like, "All right."
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he's gonna leave as well.
So basically, Bakr's calling my line, Ibrahim's calling my line, and I'm on a sales call. I'm like, but I'm not trying to make money here. We not doing. And then I'm in between two sales calls. I call Bakr back. It's like, yo, did you see Ibrahim's message? I'm like, nah. It's like he's leaving. In my mind, I'm so annoyed.
That dramatic for sure.
In my mind, it's like that though. That's how I'm giving you my internal scenario.
Okay.
This is my nervous system. Yeah.
Sure.
So he's like, and in my mind, I'm like, we just came with a new marketing angle. I just got some ads. I was like, but we agreed last night. This is the signal.
The signal.
So I've gone to my family now. I've cancelled the sales call. I've gone to my family. I'm like, listen, we're leaving in the morning. Boom. Let's get cash. He's running around. He's getting cash. We don't have cash, bro. He's like, I'm bringing cash to you, this, that, so on and so forth. Anyway, then Ibrahim messages suddenly. Guys, sorry, I'm staying. Okay, so I have some bad news. I am pre-diabetic. I just got my bloods done recently because a good friend of mine, Umar, aka the Muslim PT, he said, Imran, get your bloods done, I'll check them for you. Found out that I'm pre-diabetic, my estrogen is high, unfortunately. Just to clarify, my testosterone is not low, but there's something going on inside of me which makes my estrogen high, and a bunch of other things. I'm not a scientist, but all of these things have been causing me brain fog, fatigue. I've been sleeping for like 9 hours a day. I've not been optimal. I keep crashing in the middle of the day. I eat food, I crash. So I had to quickly just get my life changed. I've tried to get in shape for 15 years. I needed this wake up call, but the wake up call wasn't enough. I've got this brother Umar, Muslim PT, by my side. He's helping me, he's training me, he's helping me with my diet program. And I just want to share with you guys, I've lost 2.5 kg in like the last 10 days. Alhamdulillah, and my brain is so clear. I'm on a calorie deficit right now, and I'm on such an extreme calorie deficit, but he's given me a meal plan that's allowing me to have like the healthy foods that are going to keep me going. And he's giving me supplements to take that are helping to kill my cravings and making my calorie deficit easy. I'll be honest with you, the first 5 days were hard, super hard. But suddenly on the 6th day, I had gone through most of the day on less than 500 calories, I'm not exaggerating, and my energy was 10. Do I look energetic right now? I am on no more. Today, I am no more than 1,100 calories, and that's how I'm going to end my day, right? But the foods are good, healthy, protein focused, and supplements. So, look, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, no doubt there's going to be some underlying issues, but you can reverse it, inshallah ta'ala, with Allah's permission, His tawfiq. And if you're in your 20s, then you don't want to wait till you get to this point where you have this wake-up call, because I'll be honest with you, a year from now, I could actually have been diabetic. And we hear about parents being diabetic and friends, but you don't know what it's about. Being diabetic is actually such it's such a suffering, man. May Allah cure those who are sick. I mean, so if you want to get your life in shape, I'm telling you, this guy, Umar, is the guy, man, with Allah's permission. He's not going to just work with you to help you get buff. I don't know, you don't really care about the body. If you did, you would have done it. But he's going to help you get, energetic, focus. You're going to have energy throughout the day, and you're going to be healthy, inshallah ta'ala. So if you've been neglecting your health up until now, and you feel like there could be some issues, maybe you're experiencing issues now, inshallah, it's not too late. And it's a guy who actually cares. That's what I love about the guy. He actually cares and goes out of his way to help myself and get in shape and make sure I'm progressing. So you can apply for his coaching program at the link below. Inshallah, I really believe you won't regret it. And our life is important, man. To think that I could become diabetic and won't be able to be there for my kid. My dad, of course, only Allah knows when death's written, but you know, you don't want to destroy yourself with your own hands. Like, what a travesty, right? So go to the link below, check out his program, and inshallah, hopefully, you're going to join me as one of the Muslim PTs, guys. So go.
Yeah, so he has to speak to the doctor and get advice.
I think he realized he's slightly bugged out. So anyway, me and Shiaf was my anchor. I'll be honest with you. So both of us came together and we were like, bruv, what the hell, right? And we realized when there's two extremes, find the middle path, right? Find the middle path. So I believe we had the middle path. So what I did is, I have cash ready to go, inshallah. I have my vehicle ready to go. In fact, I've got a few vehicles ready to go. And that's it.
So, you know,
I would disagree.
That was it.
I would say you're on the
right in the middle path. Yeah.
I would say you're in the middle. Yeah.
No, look, of course, it's a spectrum. You're never going to be fully in the middle. But look, I've assessing the situation, right? Speaking to brother sartorial shooter. And by the way, that was a guy I really wanted to speak with. It was a guy I really wanted to speak with because he was coming out, and that's why we did a podcast. I'm not sure you guys saw
that.
Right? So he's a guy he's got
on ground in the region.
Got good insight. Got very good insight.
So there was a few things he wasn't answering in his videos, but they would answer them the next day. Desalination plants, this, that. What happens if the missiles run out? So I had a couple. When I just wanted to meet with the guy, and he was giving me very practical things. Literally the same signals we were talking about. He's like, if the region, for example, gets involved, that's escalation. Yeah, mass casualty event, this. And because I know he's in very senior semi-government, you know, he mentioned that the sheikh, the ruler, he sent him a message to the head of the media department saying thank you. Yeah, so he's very connected, right? So he was like, so I was like, he's got inside information that we don't. So after that, I was like, you know what?
For me, ultimately, one thing that I came to realize, or I guess I kind of knew, but came to realize in all this is, look, everyone is different. And everyone has a different risk appetite. Everyone has a different system, and everyone's got a different situation. Like, what works for one person might not work for another person, right? Some people might be more inclined towards one particular direction, another. I don't think you should attach too much to one particular person, because 100%. If they end up doing something, you have to commit to it. Otherwise, then you're going to not do it. Then you're just going to be indecisive in everything that you do. You look at what everyone's doing.
And that's shura.
And you do shura. Sometimes you disagree. Yeah. Like, for example, I
also done istikhara to not go, by the way. So this is the thing.
Shura and istikhara.
Yeah, just to add to this point. So we done shura, and I did this. You know when Brother Ibrahim was like, let's go, and it was like, let's go. So in my mind, I actually said, all right, cool. But in my heart, I said, no, I'm not going. I done istikhara to not go. And then my man messages me saying, no, we're not going.
Look at that.
You know, one thing I will say.
That's what Allah's going to make sign off,
the one thing I would say to everybody, and it applies to everybody, whether you're on one side of the equation or the other side of the equation, whether you're wanting to go, wanting to leave, it always come down to look favoring the prepared. Be prepared. That's the main thing,
I just want to comment on what you mentioned.
Favors the prepared.
Absolutely. So you mentioned a point about you don't look at what's happening, you look at what's coming after that, right? So I just want to correlate that to business, right? So my business mentor, he called me and he said, I know you haven't asked me much about the situation, but you need to become a cockroach. And the reason is things might be fine. And alhamdulillah, in our industry, I was just speaking to Abu Bakr on the way here.
It's what Faizan.
Yeah, Faizan. Which is that 15% of our top line got hurt because of tourists not coming who were renting bikes. But residents were buying bikes, people are cycling, people need that mental release, they need that escape. And this happened in COVID as well. COVID was when Dubai boomed in cycling, shops opened and then closed a couple of years later because people wanted that escape. It was a social distancing sport. It helps you get your mind out of the whole rut. And so he was like, our burn is X. We just did half X of our yearly burn. Salaries, offices, we just cut down, even though no impact has happened immediately. I asked him, like, what's impacting your industry? He said, we're going to see the effects later on in the real estate development industry. It's when sales come around, when we have to deposit checks of our tenants, not tenants, the buyers. So he's like, listen, even if nothing happened to you right now, you need to prepare. And you need to prepare even because of seasonality, because our business is seasonal. In terms of the summer is usually there's a dip. That's natural. So he said, you need to become a cockroach, cut costs wherever you can. So I was like, all right, my ads agency, cut them down. My content agency, cut them down. Salaries, I told guys, listen, and my bike, I was just telling him right now, I listed my bike for 60K. I'm like, guys, sell my bike. I don't care about Ironman right now. I got to be a cockroach. If we come out of this, everything's good. We're actually going to come ahead of ourselves. Because he said there's two things that's going to happen. Either one, you were right and you were prepared, alhamdulillah. You're going to have a chance to do things which people couldn't because they're out of business. Second, if you were wrong and things were actually fine, then you just have a bunch of cash to deploy immediately into marketing and a bunch of stuff to then get a head start.
This is very, very smart. So one, we did a bit of this as well, alhamdulillah. One thing I saw, wallahi, was the you see Ibrahim and Sam. Akhi, these guys are the most comfortable, Allah barik. You know, I saw, you know, when Sam says his lifestyle is off of his passive income, not his active. Likewise, brother Ibrahim, I presume, right?
Allahumma barik.
Bro, they have diversified their income streams from different places in the world, from different asset classes, Allahumma barik. They live off passive income. They've got capital there. It's liquidity in case they need to make things happen. But it allowed them to just be so calm and collected in this and say, you know what? Where's the opportunity? Let's buy, let's do this, let's do that. Yeah, bro. And it made me realize, like the importance of, like, that advice is gold.
Yeah.
So gold. Because even right now, we actually went on to the offensive, right? So, you know, the same way you said your business will boom and something like this. We went to the offensive. We're like, listen, if that's the case, we're going to own this, bro.
Yeah, which is very
like, alhamdulillah, our lead generation didn't stop. It stopped in the first 6 days. It stepped in the people wanted to join the cave. High net worth, you know, entrepreneurs, investors. Okay, maybe now people are not concerned about that when there's missile crisis, right? Well, it's not missile crisis, but whatever. So then the angle and the messaging became, hey, listen, if you want to be part of a network of high net worth entrepreneurs, investors that have got access to what's happening through their circles, they also have access to how to thrive in these type of opportunities and make money in these type of opportunities, right? And of course, if you're looking for a bunch of friends that can keep you sane, you know, whilst all this is going on, bang, do you know what I'm saying?
Thriving testing times.
Thriving testing times.
I love
That's
it. I loved
amazing.
it.
The whole thing was be positive, Ak.
Yeah.
Be positive in this thing.
I think one of the things that's understated about the cave is and one of the overstated is the fact that 79 figures, yes, but I think that's not even close to what I found at the cave. I think for the camaraderie from people's intellect, people's viewpoints, people's advice, you know, people's like even this lecture thing that I'm doing with Wadah, linking up with Ibrahim has opened up, not even financially. It's not. No one's put a penny into it. Even though they could do. It's the advice, it's the insight, it's the strategy that they give. This is something you can't buy. You know, usually people spend thousands on these courses. This is stuff that you cannot buy when you've got high-level CEOs and directors and people in positions, in governmental high-level positions giving you advice and strategies. You couldn't buy this. You couldn't fight for this sort of stuff.
100%.
So I think that's one of the things that's very
good
understated about the cave.
It's not just
you
a
know.
7-9 figure.
On your point, you know, and we kind of alluded to this earlier as well, you know, the concept of you can't start preparing the day after. That's too late, right? Like, you know, like for example, you mentioned about buying the solar panels and the station and whatnot. It was a few months ago. I don't know if in Moeda, I'm not sure, but in Zahia, there was a power cut. Remember that day when I couldn't upload a video because there was no electricity? Do you remember?
It was very temporary. It was very temporary.
No. It was like for like 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours. I had to throw away stuff in the fridge because it was.
But that's what I mean by temporary. Like it wasn't days.
Oh yeah. As in, it wasn't days, but it was long enough to where
affect your life.
Yeah, affect your life. So I'm saying those are the types of things that you need to actually prepare. Not zombie Armageddon, end of the world, the world's crashing down.
Which is what the movies are about.
Which is what the movies are about. Yeah, if you watch the movies, you're gonna start thinking, I need to get a crossbow and I need to, get whatever else it is.
Let's go in Karachi, bro. Then you need a strap.
Strap, whatever. Like
need the AK.
My point is like
move around Karachi without a strap, bro.
My point is, like, it's different for everyone. Like, given the current situation, I realize, look, having a car in your name, for example, you can't wait until you need to
cross border.
Because you can't cross borders in because you used to be able to with ease, and a lot of car companies used to let you do it. But imagine, on a particular, you're trying to get through to the company,
you have cash, but no one's selling.
Nah, you're absolutely
on the day, because remember, here you need to do RTA tests to change cars. It could be closed. So all of these things. Have them prepared before, and again, look, people have different levels of preparedness. As I said, there's like so again, like I said, the whole thing is you assess and you decide what to take, what not to take. Okay, there's communities of guys called preppers. These guys are literally preparing for Armageddon, bro. But some of the stuff they actually say and do is bruv, it makes a lot of sense.
There's an
Take
ayah
the good,
about this,
leave the
right?
bad.
Which is about the people who didn't prepare for the army. Allah says that if they were sincere, لَعُدُّوا لَهُ عُدَّةً. What's the ayah?
لو عدة
Like if these people were sincerely, they actually wanted to go to battle, they would have prepared the preparing. Allah is saying that if you don't prepare preparing, that's a sign that you actually don't want to do the thing. You don't want to be, like in a battle situation, you don't actually want to fight.
And
You're being scared.
I'll make a point on terms of masculinity as well. This is very important. It's not just about having the equipment around you guys, being prepared mentally, physically is so important. People
and spiritually.
And spiritually, of course. I think spiritually underlies everything.
And that's what Imran, I could see in the group,
underlies everything.
Constantly reminding us.
In fact, before I explain the masculinity, I'll go, because you mentioned the spirituality thing, I'm going to go back to my point about preventing this long-term trauma. We talk about top-down control, and all of this is kind of encompassing that, really. Methods of control. But why are then people then suffering from things like PTSD and trauma later on, which is potentially something we're going to see? What happens is when you have this fear response, fear doesn't just come on its own. The amygdala doesn't just give you fear, not just perception. It releases other things as well. It's very closely linked to your pituitary gland, which then releases a lot of dopamine. So what you then start doing is creating long-term connections with this fear. Okay, so every time you think about it, you're scared. Every time you come across a similar news story, you're scared. Every time you hear a noise or a bang, you're scared. You wake up in the middle of the night because you're dreaming about these things. You had a good day, but at the end of the day, because of the excess release of dopamine, you're going to sleep in fear and anxiety.
How do you reset that? This is not just for this issue. This is trauma, like generally.
This is general
I see a lot of people go.
So there's a few different techniques. CPT and CBT are probably the two most proven methods that are used now. CBT
cognitive
is something.
behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
What's CPT?
Cognitive perception therapy.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So CBT is something I specialize in, but it's very arduous. I always tell people before they start the kind of therapy with me, with CBT, you have to break down things. You have to get down to crux. I'm talking about, I make people talk about in detail about the experiences that they've had, before and after and during, and they really don't like it, but it's important, when we're doing that kind of CBT
Can I
therapy.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, genuine, yeah? Have you observed anything broken in me?
In yourself.
I keep being told I've got wounds, some trauma.
Me personally,
But I don't
But
buy it.
who told you?
Is it
Like,
going
it
down?
depends. If it's your wife, like, for example, it's like, bro, I
Just
get that. So, like,
psyching you out,
left,
yeah?
right, and centre,
No,
but
just people.
if it's
but even
guys that actually know you deep
No, I would
down,
say-
that
bro,
tell you.
even I honestly believe,
In what sense? In what sense?
like, just traumatized, this, that, like
About what? What are they connected to?
childhood, this,
Okay,
that.
they connect to childhood.
But I'm chilling. But you know what? Let me hear it from you. What do you think?
I would genuinely say every single person I've met in my life has some sort of trauma and has a level of brokenness in them. Levels of it.
Go and ask me something.
Yeah. It's,
I don't think it works like that, bro.
Yeah,
I've genuinely tried to. Because I'm pretty self-aware. I think I'm a self-aware guy, right?
You're very
See,
self-aware.
interestingly,
Allah
I would have said the opposite.
Go on.
Interesting. But
He's
genuinely,
extremely self-aware.
that is
That's my
being self-aware doesn't mean being self-aware from one direction.
like heightened self-awareness. man.
We peripheral vision is very important, and this is the thing that we oftentimes forget. One thing I would say with you, Akhi, you in the nicest way possible,
Please
not
do, bro.
in a bad way at all. I think it's a very positive as well, in many, and I wish I could do this. It's not to hurt you. It's just an observation.
Wonderful
I think
thing.
you very much live in your youth. I think you not certain parts of your youth, but I think there's an element of your youth that you definitely live in, and that definitely you're trying to hold on to.
What do you think?
That is
But
very true.
oftentimes, what
very
that can
true.
give you,
Go on.
what that can oftentimes give you is it can give you a reduced peripheral vision, which doesn't mean, and sometimes you could, and I think you're in a position which is both advantageous and dangerous.
It is
You're in a
dangerous.
position where you've got a lot of people watching out for you, yeah, which will dampen your peripheral vision. Yeah, so sometimes you need to put yourself in a situation where you have to activate that
You
more.
have to watch your own back.
Yeah, you have to watch your own back, essentially. And not just watching your own back, but it's kind of seeing things that you typically wouldn't see if you didn't have those people around you. I'm sensing that in myself now more so. And it's happened in a good
But
and
the
bad
fact
way.
that I keep those people around me, is that not me mitigating it?
Yeah, it was mitigating it, but that's not a bad thing as
What
well.
if a day comes when
They're not there.
they
They're
can't?
not there.
They're not-
I always
they're not doing
I always
it.
say to people,
But
there's
then why
You're
would
too late for that. You
So,
haven't
for
trained
example, look,
yourself for that.
this is what I said earlier. You know, I said I disagreed because you said, look, I've got multiple cars, but none of them are yours.
But that's
Imagine each of those guys
no.
can't.
So the point that I was going to get at is that
Yeah.
one thing that
When it
situation
comes to
did
everyone's on their own.
was it exposed how unprepared I am, which now made me create a preparation plan. Right?
Have you actioned any of that plan?
So no, you understand? I have a license waiting for me in Pakistan. I just need to go pick it up.
By then it might be too late, bro. Like,
That's his point.
you think, wait, like you said, guys, wait
That's
one
what I'm saying.
second.
That's what I'm
Let
saying.
me quickly go Pakistan.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Come back.
But that's what I'm saying. In the meantime, I've got my rights.
No,
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. You can't prepare the day after, right? So I looked at myself. I said, "Right, okay, man, don't have a car."
Which is
That's
fine.
L.
But is that?
So-
but this way it comes down to problem solving, though, right? Like, are you saying that that's the best level of preparation you could do?
You could do more.
in the moment, yeah,
No,
of
why not
course.
go to the driving institute, get a car, and get
this
your
is-
license?
But that's gonna take me months. I just the flight
no,
pick
it
it up.
takes you a test.
And
One test.
subhanallah,
Yeah, but I need to.
Do you have your UK license?
you know
No.
the points that I was
No,
making.
no,
I have
no,
Pakistani- I have a Pakistani license.
You know the points
And then
that
you
I was
gotta do the whole
making.
thing.
That's exactly.
You gotta do
Pakistani
the whole
license.
thing again.
But my point is, I've realized 100%. No, PP.
The points that I was making are so beautifully highlighted by what just happened just now. You know,
The youth, yeah.
right? From the youthfulness, which is not a bad thing at all, right? From the peripheral vision, all of these things, and it's not always a bad thing. Some of it is just how people's individual characters are. Myself, I am literally seeing similar things in myself now that I didn't have before. I went from being very isolated. You know, when I was in the UK, my last few years in the UK, genuinely, apart from maybe one, maybe two people, was so isolating. And then when I came here, in particular the cave, it gave me a real sense of brotherhood and camaraderie that I've not experienced for decades. Literally the word decades I'm using. And it's interesting because now I'm finding myself in a similar position where my peripheral vision is like dampening. So what am I doing as an example to kind of mitigate this now is I'm venturing out really into my discomfort, into those zones that I would never even thought about in a million years. You know, I would never have thought of doing business in a certain way in a certain place, but I'm really venturing out where there's no help. I'm going to have to go there, do things myself, get it done, and then retrain that peripheral vision.
One thing I told my wife.
Can I just say one thing? But I really appreciate you sharing that, and I also feel like we really bonded in the last 6 weeks specifically. And it was a particular moment where I was like, you know what? This guy's a close friend now. And it was, you know, when we had the event in the seafood restaurant in Marina, and you walked in late, and I looked at you and I was like, this is a friend coming in right now. And it takes me a long time in my heart for it to click. But I was like, yeah. I don't know what it was about that moment, but we had been through so many things on the podcast,
like the Sahaba.
canyoning, you know, that it come on. So I really feel that.
It's like the Sahaba who went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, I love so and so. And he said, "What did you tell him? Did you inform him?" Then he said, "We'll go and tell this person that."
So I'm letting you know.
And I love you
I love you too, Akhi. I love you too.
Allah bless you. But I'll tell you something, Sheikh. So I don't believe I have a dampened peripheral vision. I'm extremely paranoid. Like I said, I don't talk about a lot of
going on in your mind.
Yeah. Sheikh, I'm very paranoid. I cannot explain to you how paranoid.
Have you seen his podcast with Sheikh Uthman? Where he literally says that he doesn't think there's anyone. What did you say?
Yeah.
And he actually felt bad for you in a moment. He's like, what have you gone through, brother?
Bro, Bakr said something to me the other day. And I was...
You're like, there's no one who cares about me. Like something like that. He's along the lines.
I believe, as in, I don't expect loyalty from people.
Yeah,
That was my
loyalty.
point.
Loyalty is about loyalty.
So to the point where when Abu Bakr said to me, he was like, listen, I'm not leaving without you. I was like, oh, okay, that was nice. I wasn't expecting.
No, you weren't expecting that.
Honestly, bro.
Yeah.
It took me
That was
a while.
deep, bro. That was deep, bro.
But my point is, Sheikh, I'm very I'm very paranoid.
But let me ask you a question. One second, let me ask you a question. Yeah, because when I said that, it was conditional, right? I said to you, no, it's conditional. No, he's a blue, bro. He's a blue. No, as in, look, as in, I'm saying, I said to you, no, I'm not taking.
You're gonna make me lose hope in humanity.
I'm not taking.
I'm joking.
No. But let me make my point. My point was, I said to you, as long as. Because we talk about the logistics.
Yeah.
I said as long as the logistics is a don't remind me.
Yeah.
But my point is,
If
you
things
need to
start going-
sort those logistics out.
Yeah,
plenty of
100%.
time. But I'm saying, have you done any of it?
So my point is,
No.
Yes.
That's my point. So you can be paranoid in here, but some of it has. I'll give you a small
I
example.
think you should accept that.
I'll give you a small example.
yes,
Yeah?
but is that not because my assessment of the situation right now is
No, but listen,
It's not that.
a plan is just theory until it actually comes in, and then you're going to realize there's so many other aspects missing.
Which you're going to find out later on.
For example, I told my wife that look, from now on, I told her, look, I haven't given it how often I'm going to do it, but this is one of the things I took from those preppers. I said to her, listen, once a month, roughly right now, at a random point, you could be in the middle of cooking whatever. I'm going to cut all the electricity in the yard for 24 hours.
Yeah, you're mad. I'll be honest with you. You put a snorkel in your car. You got a snorkel in your car.
We got to use.
It just looks nice.
Use a torch.
Can I sum it up in one sentence?
You got to do this. But my point
Why
is,
do you have a snorkel in the car?
It helps with dune bashing.
it helps with dune bashing. It helps cooler air to the car. It slightly increases the weight depth. Not really because the electricity.
Why
The
any
electricity
of
still
those
there.
things?
I don't
Someone's
think
like, it's
it
not.
looks
It's
so
not.
good.
It's not for the water. It's not for.
No, it's for the water. As in,
It is
as I said,
for the
wading
water.
depth is to do with water.
Is it for breathing
But
in
it
the
doesn't-
car?
It does.
Yeah,
It's your
it's literally
intake.
it's like a
Air
small
comes
It's
through
actually a snorkel for the car. So instead of the air intake being down here, it's now up
but
here.
why would you take your car? Why would your car?
It's cleaner air coming in. So
and
number
more
one,
volume.
so number one in the
So
UAE,
you expect that to happen?
no, in the UAE,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Dust.
dust.
Yeah.
That dust, when you're driving, even behind a regular car,
Yeah.
that's going straight into your intake.
Yeah.
This makes your intake go higher. So number one, your car will last longer. It costs £100. You're increasing the longevity of your engine
Okay,
of your
so
car.
this is not for a doomsday scenario. This was just
no,
generally.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you see cars have it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is-
Not these days.
You have to understand. I heard my man put a snorkel in his
You
car.
know, he came today morning. He's looking for a car with a snorkel. He's like, "What's a car with a snorkel look like?"
I thought because the rain was coming in it. Everyone was talking about the rain. I thought my man's mad.
No.
Put a snorkel.
He's gonna drive underwater with a snorkel.
No, but that shows how detached you are.
I'll be honest with you. Wallahi.
You thought he's underwater with a snorkel?
You don't want to be swimming. I'm trying to swim
gonna-
under a tsunami or something.
I'm gonna
He's not just really
sum this top in one sentence. Yeah.
When I called Sam, I said, "Yo, Sam, we don't." Oh my God,
No, it's
You know
preparedness.
what?
The 24 hours
what
thing,
we're
I think, is
preparing
mad, though.
for-
20,
What we are
no,
preparing
because,
for.
sorry.
Yeah.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, so go on.
Because the reason is,
That could look PTSD.
you're gonna, and by the way, it doesn't have to be 24 hours to start off with. It can be less, it could be more. It's up to you. Like, you can start off with less, but the point of it is, it will highlight to you
Like
the
fire
cracks,
drills. Is that
the
like fire
cracks
drills?
in your preparedness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why you do fire drills is so that if and when it really does
That's a
happen,
very good point.
you realize, oh wait, actually, we forgot my man in there because that room doesn't have a thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Next time,
You find the
School
loophole.
was this in
the
UK, you
gap.
know that.
that's the same
You know
reason.
what a school did in the UK, bro, and the head teacher got fried. It was a Muslim school as well, bro.
Yeah.
Bolton Muslim Girls School, yeah?
Ah.
This school was one of the top achieving schools in the whole of the country. You know what they did? Similar to this thing, they set the fire drills off and then the head teacher threw smoke bombs into the classrooms.
Okay, that's too much.
Bro,
You don't need to do that.
panic
But the
was
point is,
made
prepare
that.
for something realistic.
realistic, yeah.
Losing electricity can happen for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah, nothing to do with conflict.
Before the conflict, it happened randomly.
Yeah, this-
for
so-
8 hours.
so 1 second, so
I'm
this-
saying because of conflict, they're talking about hitting energy struggle. It could actually happen again.
so this-
So you need to be able to know because what's going to happen when it happens.
Yeah, this is deep. This
Your
is
family's going to be panicking. Oh, there's no light. What are we going to do?
The drill
If
is
you
good.
know, alright, cool. Like, I bought mini little
Solar
torches. You know,
power,
like little
yeah.
pocket torches from Carrefour. I went there to do to a regular shop. I found
And
torches.
solar
And I
panel chargers
I
and
gave
power
one to my
banks.
wife.
Yeah,
I gave one to
power
myself.
bank.
Power bank. I said, this is how you use it.
So here's the thing, right? One thing that this thing showed me was how fragile technology is. How absolutely fragile it is.
No, not just technology, the entire infrastructure we
Yeah,
live on.
society.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Internet,
Yeah,
people who make money online.
But the issue
it could
is
be zero
everything.
and overnight.
Okay,
That's
you're
why-
right.
that's
So
why
my
living
thing
on-
is, I'm seeing it, but I'm not acting.
Yeah, but
Why?
this-
What's
this-
wrong with me?
See, this is why living off grid and learning to live off grid is so important. But I'll summarize this in one sentence.
Can you
This whole thing we're
psychoanalyze
talking
me?
about. Yeah.
Why is my paranoia not translating to?
you know,
I think that's
you know
what,
the
like me.
fact, and you know the fact that you
Bro,
say
what?
that you have this in-depth or deep sense of paranoia. This in itself is more indicative of tunnel vision and one-sided view than it is of peripheral. That limits your periphery even more.
Oh, no,
No,
reverse.
okay, but let me say what I mean by paranoid. Meaning, I'm worst case scenarioing everything. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
that
threats.
that
I'm
does-
looking at all the
because then
the warning
that
signals.
prevents
Sheikh, can I tell you something?
yeah.
You know, when I come into contact with people on a day-to-day basis, I believe everyone's a Fed.
That's deep.
Yeah, I believe everyone is a Fed.
I want to know
So
your
you
past
believe
experience.
the three of us, the four of us in this room are feds?
You want to be absolutely honest with you? It took me
Yes.
a very long time
honest.
to say.
I don't even know
everyone's
how
a Fed.
I don't know. I'm wondering how you even connected with me. Then you probably were thinking,
No, because in my mind I was like, 1 second, this guy had the prime minister's level clearance, Iraq, Afghanistan. He's so quickly got himself into my circle to the point where he's literally on my skin. He's he's manipulating the muscles in my body right now when he's charging me. He's on a podcast.
You thought you were implanting little device into him, like.
when I
No,
did the
one second.
adjustment, bro. I
Then
don't
I
know
was
what's
like,
going
then I
to
was
his
like, then I
head,
was like, wait 1 second.
proper
Now he's on
movie,
a
man. Proper
podcast with
movie.
me, right? And sometimes he says things that I have to delete out the podcast. I was like, why is he saying those things? Why is he doing that?
He's trying to set me up.
Yeah, what's the hell? So I can't lie, Sheikh. It took me a while.
Allah
It took me. I'll be honest with you. I love Mu'tasim,
Yeah.
but in my mind, he's got data, bro. He's got data.
He's got the unedited clips of
Yeah,
everything that
he's
you
got
said.
data.
He's got
So
everything.
My thing is like that, Sheikh. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Like we had a guy.
The thing-
we had a guy who applied to join the network. You know what he does? He manages the palaces of the Bahraini royal family.
Ooh.
That's his company, right? Emirati guy, local.
right.
In my mind, I'm like, why?
We don't have any locals.
Why
in
do you
the
want to join the cave?
network, yeah.
Why did he
No,
want to
he's
join
saying
the
he
cave?
wanted to join.
Why do you want to join the cave?
Why would he want to join the
Generally.
cave?
Huh?
Why would
don't
he
have
want to
any.
join? Why did he want to join the
What
cave?
do you mean? Like,
don't.
That's his business. He wants to. It's a network of entrepreneurs and investors. But my point is that made me think, what the fuck? So I cancelled the call with him.
No way.
I cancel for that.
You know
But it's
what we're
rescheduled,
preparing for.
rescheduled.
You know this whole thing we're talking
What do you
about.
mean, Emiratis, man?
You know what we are preparing for.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what we're preparing for absolutely necessitates that we be prepared for it right now. What I mean by that is we're not preparing for a gradual escalation of things, and
You're right,
we're going
you're
to hear of it in the news, and it's going to happen what's going to happen is going to happen so suddenly and so quickly if it happens. Yeah, that if we are not prepared now,
Yeah.
even talking about trying to prepare makes no sense.
No, you're right.
You know?
But you know what it is? It's just for me. You know what it is? My day to day, I'm prioritizing.
You know
I'm
what?
like, what's the priority today?
No, but you know what I
But
think
the
about that
priority
paranoia?
today is because today is a good day.
The thing is, your priorities
If the good
every
day-
day are like.
Doomsday.
If the good, no,
Yeah.
not at all. No.
No,
But
I'm
it's-
just connecting
you
his
got some
words. I know what he's going to
crazy
say.
perception. Yeah, these guys
I
got
just
some
know what he's
crazy
going to say. I'm
perception.
not agreeing to what he's going to say.
Yeah, you got but as in, look, when the day, like, it's like, was it Mike Tyson? Said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
That's 100%
Yeah.
true, man. Mike Tyson.
You have to punch yourself in the face regularly to know, sorry, no, you maybe not have to punch yourself, but you have to get punched in the face.
Okay, let me ask
enough.
you a question.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
I'm not. I don't assume. I'm asking.
Go for it.
So, how much of your Ramadan did this occupy, percentage-wise?
In terms of like
your
what do you mean
time.
by this?
Mentally,
time.
physically, actually, like, how much of your Ramadan did it occupy?
I wouldn't even know how to quantify. As in, do you, as
Just
in,
time-wise. How many hours of Ramadan did
Percentage.
in Ramadan?
Like, as in,
Percentage?
from your hours awake, there's obviously your ibadah, then there's your, then there's your work, then like how much
you
of
drove
how
and
much
what
of your
specifically?
bandwidth?
Maybe like between 5 to maybe I was about to say
'Cause you
10,
drove
but
to
I was like
Saudi and came
very
back.
most- yeah, but that was more so.
Yeah, but I think
It still took away from your
included,
Ramadan.
bro. That's 100% included.
Okay, the drive, if you include that, as in you include the entire time I was in Medina, the 3 days.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Because that's why you went there.
No, but that's good for Ramadan.
No, he did. I don't.
If
think
he's
that-
there in
I
Ramadan.
don't think it was this, bro. He went there. All part of dropping the family and coming back. So you have to take
Yeah,
that.
I just dropped family off and came back.
So,
Okay, anyways,
and
just-
now, let me ask you a question. How much? Now, is this something you're carrying on now? Is it still something that occupies your mind? Are you still looking at, the preparers and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
my point? That's what I'm saying. So this is mad.
But it's
now.
not, bro. But it's like less than, as in when you say that, like, what do you mean?
I know exactly what
quantify
it
it.
means. I know exactly what it means.
Because,
If we're
because
talking about
as I
worst
said,
case
there's
scenario-
guys that are on the doomsday prep thing.
Yeah.
I'm 100% not like that.
I know, but my point is that how much of if this is a worst case scenario, that I've got to kind of
How much
just
time should I dedicate?
mitigate. I've done it. It's done now. So when I now look at you,
No, because
I get uninspired to do this because I'm like, this is a rabbit
You know
hole
what? I'll give an
that
example.
just takes away. So me,
There needs to be a level of consistency,
No,
if I make-
steady stream in this.
Exactly.
every day
That's
in my
point.
life, I'm
It's like-
looking at what needs to be done.
no, it's like
What snakes do I
dollar
have to
cost averaging. That's the way I see it.
But 5%,
5% is not a lot.
You know,
5%.
5% on the safety of your family. Yeah.
No,
shit.
1 second. No.
Compare this to
5% on all these scenarios. And
No. What are you talking about? Like,
I'm saying, given your as in okay. What I'm talking about is this:
You know what?
you have interests. Every quarter, there's a new interest.
okay, paddle.
Yeah. And my point is that these interests occupy your brain.
Okay,
And this is
agreed.
Take away time, money,
like
all of
imbalance. It's imbalance.
I don't necessarily believe so. Like, you change it based on the needs and requirements. Like, like for example, like when I was going to do the Ironman, right? Obviously now I put that on the back burners because of I haven't been able to train for it. But when I was planning to do it, I put effort towards it. I bought a bike from
But I
AK
think
Bike. Shout out to
These
AK
things,
Bikes.
okay.
Like-
Did paddle at the time you were doing paddle take 5% of your life? At least.
I think it took more than that.
Yeah,
More than that,
yeah.
About 50% of it.
Is that proportionate? Paddle.
You need to do things in life. Like,
Paddle 5%. 5%.
No, but Sheikh,
Yeah.
let me.
5%.
I've got one point which is going to connect this
5%
to
of
you.
what Allah's given you.
Do you remember?
Quantify that. How many hours?
That's what it's easy.
you
It's
need something to like
compare
like,
this
I know,
to
but
everything.
fine.
outlet.
But one
like-
second, but we spoke. You said it was becoming unhealthy.
Yeah, and I realized that, and when I did, I cut it down.
But then the unhealthiness goes to the
checked
next
it.
trend,
So-
to the next trend, to the next trend.
Sheikh,
No, I don't believe
compare
so.
this to
Okay,
the
so-
time you spent in LBD. Why did you do that?
What do you mean?
How much time did you dedicate to LBD? Give me in hours.
LBD.
Led by
by
design by
design.
Fawaz.
A lot of hours, but
After
that was the
leg bumps and
20%.
bumps.
Bringing me 80%.
100%.
Is paddle 20%?
Preparedness for him could be the 20%,
paddle.
bringing him everything.
No, but I'm trying to
paddle-
identify.
Paddle has 10%, bringing 50, for example. It could be some
it's not.
percent. It is.
Paddle has two things.
The brother is telling me,
Yeah.
your act is unhealthy.
Yeah,
And he's still doing it.
No.
And it's unhealthy.
No. So when I'm still doing it, yes,
Yeah.
I reduced it. of course I'm going to still
No,
do it.
because
I'm
you
not
know
gonna
what
cut it
we're
out
saying.
completely.
It's kind of
But
like
number one,
saying there's no point of doing a time audit.
Health-wise,
time.
That's not.
Look,
you don't-
health-wise,
you
no,
don't-
number one, health-wise,
Advice
cardio,
on him is different.
cardio, absolutely, yeah, 100%.
But not at the expense of other obligations and priorities.
I agree.
He's not doing that. Is
I
he doing
agree,
that?
and I don't think.
Ask him.
No, yeah.
Okay, he's the CEO of your company, so I don't know.
I don't mean
What
that
I would
from
say,
company.
Okay.
no.
what I would say, it's only an
There are
imbalance.
times when I can.
We can beat this out. Beat this out.
Yeah, there's times when I can feel like, for example, there was one time when I looked and I realized, whoa, I've got too many games lined up. Like, I need to cancel it. And, I cut it down. And that's when I mentioned it to you. After that, I cut it down and I went back down to like once a week, twice a week at most, including the cave one. So
He's a
yeah, I
blue,
was
you know
still
he's gonna be
carrying
on
on
top of
doing
his
stuff.
stuff.
But when you get, but that's my point. That's my point. You're
I
right.
bought trainers, I bought a racket.
Yeah.
Like
But then, the unhealthy thing just went to the next habit. That's what I'm saying. That's
What's
you're
the
right.
side effect of it? What was the side
I don't
effect of
believe
it?
so.
There's ebbs and flows. I'm telling you, every quarter observe this in my
No,
beloved.
so you're saying when he says yes to badly, saying no to what?
My point is he accepted that it was unhealthy, right? Then he stopped. And
No, then I cut down.
And he cut down, right? But that unhealthiness just goes to the next thing. And I'm saying this is that next thing, right?
So I would say let's rephrase that, because it's not unhealthy. What I would say, it's only an imbalance if there's no progress. So for example, in the
Look,
situation,
he's got a blue, so he's got a response to everything, yeah?
No.
But you know one of the things he did? Well, I blew my mind. My man blew a hole. A whole chainsaw for like cutting the leaves. For once. Because he was told, man brought the helmet, the
You know,
serious
us boys
chain.
like our toys. We like our toys.
I know,
My
but
mother-in-law asked me to cut down a tree in her garden.
bro, but instead
As
of,
boys
instead of
found-
let me call a guy to go do it, I'm gonna buy the helmet.
He's not done LBD,
No,
so
it
he
was
doesn't
a-
care about
No,
the
listen,
entropy.
you
It's
don't
more about the
listen.
fun.
It was a
So
50
now-
pound
So now we're working.
£50 saw.
So now we're working.
And I wanted to do it myself.
And you have to sell it now. Because you can't take it to Dubai when you do hijrah. You can't jump on a plane with it.
Bro, he's not doing a live by
I
design
actually
course.
gave it away for free.
But he's
Bro,
not.
I gave it away for free. A guy actually came to buy it.
Okay, sure.
And he came to and he
But
bought a few things. I just gave it to him for free.
As a blue, it's one example of many.
What's the problem with
I
it?
believe there's
Because
nothing wrong with that
At the
whatsoever.
cost
In
of
fact,
what?
in
At
fact,
the
cost of
At the
what?
cost of the 20% that brings you 80%.
for
No, I
me
don't-
spending
You don't
£50,
trust me, you don't know.
£50
him
and
not
2
doing
hours.
that might
You could
harm
do
him.
this.
Do you know,
But
Him
one
not
second,
doing that
one
might
second.
harm
my
him.
mother-in-law was so pleased with me
But
that
you- but my-
that
look,
tightened that relationship.
Akhi,
You can't isolate the incident. I'm
The
saying this.
achievement of saying I've cut down a flipping tree, bro.
That's quite cool.
Cut
Yeah,
down a tree, bro, with my own hands.
like
But brother,
that's an extreme.
Bro,
workout.
I
one
love
second,
that.
But one second. Billah alaik. You know things compound, right? All these
Okay.
little 1% or 0.1% that you put to, bro. All these, hear me.
So what do you want a guy to do? Just sit and spend his whole day
No.
just working?
No, I'm saying focus.
You're such a
on-
red. You're such a red right now.
Focus.
Focus on what?
Let the guy
On
enjoy
one
his
thing
life,
for-
man.
No. Focus. My thing is focus on building something great.
And is he
Whether
not
it's
doing
your
that?
deed-
Is he not doing that?
My brother, listen.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you something.
Let me ask you a question. Is there anything?
When it-
Is there anything
One second,
greater that you can build in yourself?
One second. When it comes to seeking knowledge, yeah, do you understand how ahead this guy was? Allah Akbar.
So call him out on that.
Hear me.
That's
Hear
the
me,
point.
hear me.
Why aren't you calling him out on
No,
that?
I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example, right?
Okay.
That was a seeking knowledge trend. Bro, one day we're walking, right, back to my house in Witten, and my man's reading Nawaqid al-Islam to me.
Alone, but
He's off Hifd Allah Bari.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I was so embarrassed. I was like, you don't realize you inspired me to start memorizing the mutun.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, bro, the guy I was like, what? Allah my barik, this guy just came last week and he's memorizing Nawaqid al-Islam. You don't remember you memorized it?
No, I don't remember walking with you and.
Yeah, one day he just said, I think he assumed that I had memorized it. Then he was like, yeah, let's revise. I was like, brother, I have not memorized this. But my point is that
We had to. It was part of our.
I never did. That's not for long. I did it after.
Homework.
Yeah, unfortunately. I did. But my point is, now, just imagine you stop, you all of this, focus
extra.
was just on building this thing.
Sure.
You would have
As in
become
one
shit.
skill, you mean?
It doesn't have to be one skill. I'm not saying limit yourself to one skill. But yeah, a man can't do hundreds of skills and be great at them.
Yeah.
My thing is, imagine
Master of one.
imagine you attained mastery. Now when it comes to
But me, I'm a guy. I like trying new things.
But that's
sure,
the
but
problem.
then
That's
be
the problem.
content.
That's the
That's
problem,
my
though.
point.
That's the problem.
Talk to him.
No, but this is what for
Talk
us
to him.
teaches us.
Talk to him.
But it doesn't apply to the whole rest of the
Oh, I
world.
said he should do it.
See, me,
What do
I
you mean,
think
brother?
If he does LBD, then he's going to see that
No,
perspective.
just leave
As you're saying, if I decide to do paddle, for example, just stick to paddle.
No.
Me, I'll play paddle then.
Do
for example,
mastery in the thing which brings the highest contribution to your goal. If your goal is, for example, to do something for the ummah, paddle might not get you there. Example. It's an
no,
example.
understood. But everything doesn't have to come under one umbrella.
I know. But does it support the
you got
goal?
1,000
And everything doesn't have to
There's-
support either. Everything you do does not have to support one particular goal.
So
or
then
mission
you know
have
that
in
you're
life.
cutting yourself short.
No, you know that you're doing other things because they bring some kind of enjoyment to you.
So then they do support. That's
Absolutely.
supporting. That
So
is
let me ask-
supporting.
let me ask you a
Indirectly, that's supporting then.
Okay, if you want to class it like that, then yeah, technically anything
Like
can support
Hormozi
it.
going to the gym is supporting his business, right? This is a random example. I don't know why it came to mind. No, because he actually says that. That's
He
why.
actually says that, yes.
He says that.
Yeah, I mean, then technically you can put everything. Like, look, ultimately,
But then there's things that take away. Like driving for me
example-
was taking away for any goals that I have. That's why I just
Okay.
stopped driving. مثلا. So he's giving a very LBD style advice right now.
Driving's not. I wouldn't say it applies.
No, because some people say driving helps them mental release. Some people say like I think you'd say that as well. Driving is
that's
good.
not day-to-day driving. If I get a supercar and I
supercar.
go up Jabal Jays,
For example,
yeah,
so
that, on that
what
day
Fawaz
that would be
say,
a thing. But
do that as a one-off because that's supporting.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but then
I don't
day-to-day
disagree with
commute.
that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
My thing is, let me ask a question.
Go for it.
Don't you want to achieve greatness?
You know, you should just read
Yeah,
the book
absolutely.
Mastery.
Greatness cannot be achieved without focus.
Agreed.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But not everyone
I
can
agree
do
with
that
you.
as well.
Huh?
Not everyone can do that.
But he's bro, what do you mean?
He's trying to up your ambition.
But
right
I
now.
also agree with
But that's
that.
not a one
I don't
one
believe
conversation
the
thing.
two are.
So, let me-
I believe I feel
What
like
do
you've
you
got
think
an
about
extremist
this?
approach. You have to just have one focus
no,
on
I
one
don't say
thing.
have one focus. I also like to, as in, I want to do more things than I do.
Okay.
But my point is that there's always an obsession that's unhealthy.
Shiny object syndrome.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's unhealthy. And then there's the next one.
You know, I have that every quarter as
like
well.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. Well, like, I knew all this paddle.
I disagree because look,
When
like
was the
for
last time you played
example,
paddle? When was the last time you played paddle?
before Ramadan, the last one that we had just before Ramadan.
And like, when was the last time you were playing with some degree of consistency? Don't take that. That's what. Don't take the Sunday thing. That's what.
Before Ramadan, no, when I started doing the swimming and the biking
Ironman.
and stuff, then
So
I cut down a little bit.
that's a swimming and bike.
Now I know how to swim. That's a valuable life skill.
100%. If you do
Biking, actually, mashallah.
He's
I'm
asking if
valid.
you're intentional with
My-
what you're doing.
if-
or if
yeah,
it's
Like,
just the
I'm
next trend.
choosing to do it because my thing was I want to get fitter, healthier. My cardio was extremely bad.
Okay, then one second. Let me try and articulate what I'm trying to say.
My thing is, if I
What do you
decided
wanna
to swim
achieve? What do you want
for
to achieve in life?
You see, that's where you start. That's
What
where
do
you
what do
start.
What do you want to achieve?
There we go.
What's Allah
I mean,
bless
ultimately, I want to
Abu
get to
Bakr
Jannah.
with
innit?
that.
I wanna
Okay,
get my
break it
family
down
to
now.
Jannah.
What's your
break it
door?
down.
Simply.
What's your door?
Door.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's your door?
How are
Explain
you going to
that.
get to
Huh?
Jannah?
Explain
What's your, there's many doors to Jannah.
Everyone
How
gets
do
to
you
Jannah
Jannah?
differently.
I mean,
Are you going to open an
explain.
orphanage?
There is-
Are you going to
yeah.
free Palestine? What's your door? Allah has made easy for you. One person's like, I'm going to go to the
mean,
villages
there's so
and I'm
many-
going to
there's-
teach people Islam.
No,
I'm going to
there's-
seek knowledge under the feet of the scholars. Everyone has their own avenue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't narrow it down to one thing like that. There's many things.
Do you know what Allah has
charity,
facilitated
do,
for you?
Anything you do, good deeds, big family,
Yeah,
righteous
but
family,
what's good is
build
this
your
is
family.
something scholars
You gotta
say do.
define it.
They say identify the thing. Identify
Give an
your
example
have
of
one
scholars.
thing.
Sheikh
I don't
Ahmad bin
have one
Hanbal.
thing.
Abu Huraira, what was he known for?
hadith.
Hadith.
Okay.
What was
Ibn Umar known
Khalid
for?
bin Walid known for?
Jihad. What was Ibn Umar known for?
Okay.
Fiqh. What was Ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Abbas known for? Quran, tafsir.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But he's the famous
But-
Sahabi.
No.
Is it
Every
how
Sahabi.
many?
Every Sahabi had one thing in their life.
Al-Qibla Ali. The Prophet said to him what? When they were building the masjid. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, we saw the Prophet carrying all the bricks. He said, Ya Rasulullah, shall I help you with the bricks? And the Prophet said, no.
So you're saying you have to
The
specialize in one
Prophet said,
righteous
listen,
action.
listen. The Prophet said to him,
In
no.
your
No,
goal.
it doesn't have to be righteous action like the way you think about it. It could be skill. The Prophet said to him what? He said to him, no. Why?
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
He said, قربوا طين إلى هذا اليماني إنه أحسنكم مسأة وكما قال. The Prophet said, all of you gather the dirt, the clay for this Yemeni man because he's better than all of you in crafting the bricks. I.e., he was the engineer.
Allah.
Okay.
He had the skill of engineering through which he built.
What is the hadith for this? The hadith, Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Prophet said, إن الله
Sallallahu alaihi
يحب
wasallam.
إذا عبدا إذا عمل عملا أن يتقن به. Is that when an abd does an action, he perfects it. And then of course we know إن الله كتب الإحسان على كل شيء. So you want to do ihsan in something. This is something. This
But
is
you
a
can do
daraja.
many things. Like,
No, but this is a daraja of Islam. You have Islam,
but that's
Iman,
fully-
and Ihsan.
I don't know if I agree with you guys'
Perfecting your
interpretation.
craft.
If I want to
Perfecting your craft is different
Yeah.
from your objective and goal and how to get into paradise.
No, they're
But your
connected.
craft might not be the thing that gets you into paradise.
Why do you think that? A doctor in his craft could get him to Jannah because of his doctor.
It could, you're right. But as in, I
It
don't
should.
believe that
No.
should, like,
That-
that
if-
means
if
that
that's your goal-
necessitates that you have to then just focus
I'm
on
asking
one
you,
thing.
I'm not even saying focus on one thing. I'm asking you a very simple question, right?
Yes.
What do you want to achieve in life?
You understand that in order to get far with something, you need to attain mastery in it, right? Like
Yes.
you understand that Ibn Umar, if he
Yes.
didn't give time to fiqh,
Yes.
right, he couldn't have got to those
But I
levels.
don't want to be a master in everything.
You can't be a
I'm
master.
When I
I'm
play
not-
paddle, I'm not trying to reach
you
the
can't-
level.
No,
I don't want to be the number one in the world.
I know-
and hit
I know you
that's
don't.
fine. I just want to beat everyone in my circle.
I know.
But what do you want to be a
I'm
master
asking, what do you want to be a master in? Because that thing serve that thing.
Because that needs to be a priority then.
That's my thing. Serve that thing.
At the expense of everything else. Like, for example, jiu-jitsu for me, I'm not going to be a master at it, but I want to learn jiu-jitsu just in case I need it. But I know that cannot be my thing because it does not support my goal.
So what is your thing? What's your one thing that you do?
I'll give you an example.
No, but I want to hear his one.
So this is going to go down a different... This is going to go down... I don't think we can say on the podcast.
Keep it short as time. Go on. What is your thing?
Because it's
No, but
it's my vision. I'm
it will
going to
help
tell you
me
my
understand.
vision now.
Yeah, tell me. Well, no, I don't want your vision. I want, what's the one thing that you're going to be doing?
The one thing that I'm going to be doing...
What are you perfecting?
Because I'm just literally going through my vision right now. By the way, I want this cut out.
Okay.
Like in terms of
what you're saying,
lobbying.
what you're saying can be turned around exactly on the arguments that you used. So you said it has to be one focus, one craft, one.
So for
So
me,
it's
that
like
would
very
be...
generic.
For me, that would
very
be...
generic.
It's
But then
Right.
that's every single person on the planet.
no, Sheikh, it's not. It's not.
How does
Some
saying
person
paddle-
like Ubaid might say that my thing is I want to be the strategist for the Muslim Ummah when we need it.
Like, for example,
I think
I have
if you did
no
survey, you would
aspiration
find
to
that.
become a...
Yeah.
My aspiration is to bring those guys together.
Fair enough.
So,
But,
do you know what I'm saying?
but I think ultimately, for example, with me, if you'd ask me, I would say, look,
You've been so patiently quiet. I want to bring you in. There's just one thing I want to say, right? I'll give. Let me talk about me,
Sure.
right? Let me talk about you. Let me talk about
What's your one thing?
No, I just mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
But
But
you want to bring together
my
billionaires
thing
and
is I want to
trillionaires.
give victory to Allah's religion, right? And
Okay.
and
The way
and-
he's gonna
and-
do it.
that's very
and- and-
generic. You have
No,
to-
no, but the way he's going to do it is what you
and the
mentioned.
way that I'm doing it right now is by bringing together the most resourceful people in the ummah. We start with people that are wealthy, but we then also branch
So
off
you
to
won't do
academic-
anything that, let's just say, you might find
Contributes to that
enjoyable
goal.
that's not in line with that.
So this is what I'm about to explain. Now. So
Okay. Like, would you go
I'm
jet skiing, for
I'm
example?
literally about to explain. I'm
Okay.
just about to explain. So at the time,
Yeah.
you were doing the paddle thing, for example, right?
Okay.
I was like, wait, one sec. Because you get influence on the people around you. I was like, cool. That's it. That's what we're doing now. We're jumping into paddle like this, right? But
I don't like that, by the way. I don't
I know.
do things based on.
I know, but
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
We're humans. I'm just making a point. I'm saying in my mind, I flirted with the prospect
Okay.
of giving more time to paddle.
Okay.
And I said to myself, well, that means that it's going to affect my work. It's going to affect my seeking knowledge, right?
Why would it have to affect your work in a
Because
certain
that level,
knowledge?
that I'm saying, me and you.
How often were we playing once a week, 90 minutes?
No, I'm talking about what you do. I'm saying I flirted with the idea of doing as much as you do, right?
Like twice a week. When it got unhealthy, which was a
I'm-
very short period
I'm
of
talking about
time,
unhealthy time.
that was like for like a week or two where I played more than like 3-4 times
let's
a
use
week.
this current thing, giving 5% of my time to all this like de-risking, yeah? 5% of every day, right?
I mean, look, you asked me for a number. That's just, I threw that out there.
I think it's about accurate.
Measured
It's about accurate.
exactly.
It is about accurate.
Okay.
It's about accurate.
Okay, let's for argument's sake,
Yeah.
carry on. No
Yeah.
problem. Let's say it is.
So point being is that in my mind, I'm like, all right, now dedicating that much, it's going to now mean I can't do my hifz.
No, I disagree with that. If that's you, okay, cool,
No,
fair
but-
enough. But also, I believe that, but like, you should have. Okay, cool.
But the thing is, you haven't
let's say
identified
you don't do
your one
5%. Okay,
Yes.
no problem. No problem. Do 1%.
That's not something you can do.
No
easy.
problem. Okay, cool. Don't do 5%. Do 1%. So you're right now doing zero. Like if
No, it's not
if
zero.
No, I'm not doing zero.
It's not zero.
No, I'm not doing
Bro,
zero. That's not fair to say. I'm not doing
if
zero.
30 hits the Paka tomorrow,
Yeah.
what's your plan?
My plan is I go straight to the border.
How are you gonna go to the border?
I got 4 or 5 guys that I've confirmed the seat.
Okay,
and 4 or 5 guys got.
you can't get through to any of them for whatever reason. Qadrullah ma shafa.
Look,
He's just gonna face it.
You're gonna
He's
hope for a
accepted-
lift
no,
from
one-
someone
one-
else.
one
I'm
second.
saying there are
1 second.
there are so many steps you could have taken in this time,
1 second. So
which would have taken you 1%.
I've got the following options.
Okay.
Either I fly out,
Okay.
I've got a private jet angle
Okay, let's just say
in the country,
Okay,
or I cross the border,
So,
Oman or Saudi.
yeah.
I either drive into Medina or I take private jets out
Okay.
of those countries. So I think
all
I
of
think it would be
that-
now unreasonable to plan beyond that.
No. So all of that is very surface level
Idealistic.
theory, very idealistic. Everything works out type of man. A plan does not work.
Yeah,
So this is the difference.
The
is-
plan that
so
you
want
have
me to
is
come-
not going to
no,
be the
you
plan
want
that
me
you
to plan the way
execute.
he plans.
Considering that the risks.
You don't have to, and I'm not saying go down these prepper crazy doomsday
That's
level.
him. He likes
You
that.
don't have. No, I don't. And I even can be that clear. I said
I do
I
like
don't
it,
agree
you
with
like
that, and
it.
I saw that, and I thought, you know what? No, I don't. But there's stuff from there that I believe you should practice and things that you should do.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, I don't know if 5% is the correct number, whatever it is. I
No,
don't
trust
know.
me, it's more than 5%.
For every man,
It's more than 5%.
okay, I disagree. But for every man, I believe you ultimately are responsible. Like as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every man is responsible for his flock, for his shepherd.
Yeah.
Every man is a shepherd. You're responsible for your flock. Every man would treat that differently. Like for example, brother Jewel, he came out and said, "Look, For me, I had zero
0 out of
preparation.
10, yeah.
The only thing he said that he did is give his family power bank and said, keep your phone charged. That's it. That's his,
And I think
That's what he
90%
decided
of
to
people
do.
actually just need that, by the way.
possible. I don't know if I agree with that. Because 90% of the people don't have the experience, the resilience, the thing that he has, having been in war zones for over 20 years. He's a very unique individual when it comes to
With
these
an
kind of
internet
issues.
connection, you can do a lot.
Your GPS, guys couldn't.
Even without GPS.
Guys, no,
Just
I'm
internet
saying,
connection.
guys were unable
What
to
Bakr is
live their
saying,
day-to-day
what
life
you're
because of GPS spoofing. Guys couldn't
when
get around.
When I was driving along Sheikh Zayed Road and the GPS went out, I was like, what is going on here? And this just proved to me so much how fragile this, what you're saying is.
Learn how to use a map.
Yeah, learn to use a map.
If that takes up 5% of your life, so be it.
You
can
Learn
really
how
ask
to
ChatGPT to
navigate
give you
without
directions.
GPS.
It doesn't need GPS.
I'm
It
saying,
will tell you when you see this
I'm
tower,
not
take a
going
right.
example of if internet goes down, if GPS goes down, 30 cars in front of me all pull over the side of the road.
Like he mentioned
And I was
Google
like,
Maps offline. I learned about
offline.
that because
If
okay,
internet
cool.
goes
I just
off,
downloaded it.
100% I agree with you.
It took me
Right now,
like
many
5
countries
minutes to
have
download
No, but I'm talking about
entire
analysis
offline
that
map
you give of power
from
bank.
UAE
That's nothing. It's
to
not a what's Elon's thing
5
called?
minutes.
Starlink.
5 minutes.
Starlink. It's not a Starlink.
I don't believe that's like.
Yeah, but
gives you
what you
power,
don't
sorry.
realize that what I'm trying to say to Habibi is that there's so many different 5 minutes in the day. They take away from the things. Look,
No,
look,
I
look,
agree
I
with
think
you.
you just do a
And-
time audit. Just do a time audit.
Okay,
Wallahi.
cool. No, I can do that, no problem.
honestly.
But my point is,
I'll
your
tell
priorities
you-
will change
I'll
on a
tell you-
day-to-day basis based on the reality you're
No,
living.
but there's a
I'll-
lifetime
I'll tell
objective.
you the way Sheikh Khalid.
Agreed.
I'll tell you Sheikh Khalid.
Your priorities on a day-to-day will still
I'll tell you
vary
for-
based on.
supporting that goal.
I agree with you.
supporting that
But
goal.
Okay,
based on what's happening in your life
I'll
at
tell
that
you what Sheikh
moment,
Khalid told me.
you might have to move your
Okay,
priorities
okay.
for that day.
Let's hear what he has
I'll
to
tell you what
say.
Sheikh Khalid told me.
Go for
He
it.
said, Imran, there has to be 2 buckets,
Okay.
right? He said circles, and it was more articulate in Arabic, but in English, there's 2 buckets, yeah? There's the bucket of concern, and then there's the bucket of action.
Okay.
Right? He goes, when all of these things happen around the world and whatnot, everyone is focused on the bucket of concern, i.e. the things that you should be concerned about, things that you should take into consideration, right?
Because they didn't prepare when times were good.
No, hear me.
Everyone is focused the day after. Oh my God,
Let me
this is happening. I need to do this. I need to do this.
That's not the point I'm making. He goes, but then there's your bucket of implementation, which is the things that you can actually do something about today, right? He's like, this is something small. This is where most of your energy goes, which is today. You're doing your bucket of consideration, things that you give ihtimam, consideration, concern to, is so big, but stuff that may never, ever happen. Whereas
I disagree with you because I made it so clear to you. The only things that I've done are things that I believe are relevant now. Like, for example, buying a car. By the way, like, for example, I spoke to Ibrahim about this. He was saying, no, I don't believe it's necessary.
No, I think it is.
I disagreed with him.
I think it is.
And I said, yeah, I'm going to buy a car. Like,
Necessary.
so you tell me, what have I done that you feel like is unnecessary? For example,
just
if you
on the
said, if you said you saw me walking around with axes on my back and, you know, got a sword and,
just on the thing
bro, I
of
don't
comparison,
understand.
That's me. That's literally me. I've got
Just
accent.
on the thing of
I'm cool,
comparison.
bro. The word
so-
accent that, yeah, fair
Okay, so
enough.
let me ask you a question. So
Go for it.
let me let you answer that question, right?
Okay.
So in terms of the stuff that's your bucket of concern. In terms of your bucket of implementation and action, what have you achieved in the
In
same
terms of?
timeline?
In terms of what?
Whatever you're working towards in life. Are you just cruising
Before you
in
do that,
buildings?
I've got
Are you not
something that will
building
help
anything?
I've got
Are you not
something that will
building
help him
anything?
get that answer.
What's up?
Like, what do you mean? I don't understand.
I'm asking you, is there something you're building in life? Allah made you a
Yeah,
Khalifa
building my
on this
family.
earth.
Yeah, building my
Help me
family.
think
Yeah,
about that shit.
my family. Yeah, as in building my family. That's
That's
a
a
big
big
thing that I'm
So,
doing. Yeah.
so
I'll give a lot of time and attention to building
Yeah.
my family. Yeah.
So beautiful. So how much how much growth have you seen in your family?
Alhamdulillah, especially in the last
massively. I would say.
massively huge.
I don't mean in terms of the bucket of concern. Like,
I'm not about bucket of concern.
What's that? Okay, what are you building towards? When you say I'm building the family, that's very abstract. How do you know you've built them?
Skills, iman, like all of these things.
Like, tell me, your family has not. A day comes where you've seen what you've built. What does that day look like?
Your son, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, I see my son to be a righteous
as
man
well.
who understands the religion, his responsibilities as a man, what he's doing. Like, as in.
So what does that look like? What's he doing?
What do you mean? What's he
Like, for
doing?
example, the scholars, they'd be like, when I see my son in the masjid giving dars, that's for me, like,
For
he's
example.
achieved it. For example. Any scenario. It doesn't have to be the one thing. It's like a
I
scenario.
mean,
Maybe the way you see him treat someone, for example.
all of that. Like,
My
him,
point is that
like-
there's something that maybe this is what we've landed on is that you don't have an anchor in life that is giving you that focus. Because it may be
Yes.
that all of these
And I
things
agree
you're
on
doing
this.
Can I
makes
say-
complete sense.
I've kept
if you have
quiet
an
the whole-
anchor.
yeah.
I've got one thing
I
I
would
want
say
to
one
share
thing
on
in
this.
defense of Bakr
Sheikh
in
Khalid,
this,
I asked him this
because
question, right?
I'm on
And
the
I
same
shared this
position.
with
Go on.
I just got one
And
thing.
then Dr. Imran Khan.
I asked Sheikh Khalid, I said, I want to do good, right? What is the avenue I need to take? So he said, this is my question. What should a person focus on more when he wants to do good? Increasing his capacity to do good, for example, earning more wealth so he can give more charity, create more benefit, or focusing primarily on the sincerity of his actions and intentions. I want to do more good. Which avenue do I take?
Sorry, say it one more time. Should I focus on either?
So either I focus
Increasing
on
my capacity.
capacity to do good.
Like, for
So
example,
this could be, for example, seeking more knowledge. This could be, for example, increasing more wealth. So I can do more good with that then.
Okay.
For example, I can use that knowledge to benefit us.
Okay, quantity. Yeah.
Or should I just focus on my intention? I just need more sincerity in my own salawat, in my own actions, in my own small charity. And that's what will get me closer to Allah. Because we want Jannah. That was the goal.
Absolutely.
How do I get there? What's the best thing I can do to that? This was his answer. He said it depends on the person. Every person has a door, and this is the point he was making, that Allah Azza wa Jalla has opened for him through which he can seek his pleasure. Some people, Allah has made business and earning wealth easy for them. In that case, they should strive to seek closeness to Allah through that wealth, using it to benefit others and support good causes. Another person may have status, influence, or leadership, being in a position of royalty, being in a position of power. Their path to khair may be through using that position to benefit people through policy, etc. Another person may have access to scholars and the ability to seek knowledge. Their path may be through knowledge and teaching that to the ummah. Another person may have physical ability, etc. So the idea is that each person should strive through the avenue that Allah has made easy for them and through which he can bring the most benefit.
Okay.
So, connected to what he's saying, you need to think about the door which Allah has made easy for you, making that your life priority, and anything you do in life should only, like we do in our time audit, be a growth or a maintenance. It should never be a shrink, taking you away from that goal. So his point is, he thinks paddle is taking you away from a goal that could bring you closer to Allah. You know, that's his point. Whether you agree or disagree is separate.
Or the excessive nature. The excessive nature. No,
in the same way.
Disagree on the, and I agree. It was on the verge of getting excessive. Or to be honest, for a week.
I think got excessive.
In the same
okay,
way,
no, we got to bring him on, man. He's been waiting.
In the same way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given everyone a different avenue and a different doorway to achieve Jannah, it's in the same way He's given everybody a different perspective. What we think is the best way. So, for example, yourself, it might be through gathering businessmen, entrepreneurs, because you feel that this is the best way for you to be entering or getting to paradise and achieving the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. You are going to be inherently, without a doubt, biased towards the fact that unless people are not as focused as you in the same way as you in achieving the goals the way you're doing, they're not doing the same thing. So, for example, everything Abu Bakr said to me, from what I gather, resonates with me. Why? Because I feel we have a very similar gateway. So, from what is mine?
What's your avenue?
So, my avenue is simple: get a residual income so I can be the best dad. That is it.
Why?
Because
what is the outcome of that?
Because I know, and we've been told through the deen of.
No, but that's very specific. He didn't say.
But the thing is, earning the residual income, that could be so diverse.
No, but Sheikh,
the ultimate goal is that. So, for example, when you ask the question, what do you see your child? What makes you feel? Now, you could say that to me. What makes me feel like I'm a good dad? But that could be a
what's the litmus? How do I know you achieved your goal?
Exactly.
Like, what's the KPI I can see and be like, you did it?
Exactly.
Residual income.
So the only
and he's accurate on that.
The residual income is a means for me to become a better dad.
The financial freedom to be a better dad.
But the litmus, there's only one litmus, bro. That's in the qabr. None of us can know that.
No, there's something you can see.
No, you can see it. But I can see myself being a hafid.
There's indication. Qara'in.
There's so many of them. So when you're asking
any
for
example,
specific,
it could be any
example. Someone being charitable, being good to his mother, being
that's
good
excellent.
to me,
that's
excellent. My
excellent.
rights. But the thing is, there are so many of them.
And that's fine.
Asking for one or two are very specific.
No, but the one or two was the one thing you mentioned at the beginning, which is financial freedom to become a better dad.
Yeah, no,
that's the goal.
Financial freedom
and the qara'in of signs of that is that what you
when
mentioned.
You're saying what is the goal? What do I want to achieve? I want to just be a good dad.
And you think that will get you to Firdaus, right? That's amazing.
The litmus of that is so varied, and even getting to that position is so varied.
No, but Sheikh, look, because you know that your goal is you want to be a good dad, everything you do, every focus is, well, not every, but most of the things that you give your time to are towards achieving that outcome. Yes. I'm saying if you didn't know that, then you would get distracted by things.
You know what's interesting though?
And that's what I'm trying to say.
You know what's interesting though? I've never once asked myself that question. I've only pondered of it now, and the answer came to me so quickly because everything.
You've been consistent with it, though.
Yeah, but the answers come to me so quickly is because everything I'm doing anyway has focused me towards that one goal without me even realizing.
Which is
and
amazing.
this is part of the beauty of what Allah gives us. Allah 100%. Gives us those doors and opportunities. It doesn't mean everyone's aware of them. Yeah. So when you're asking Abu Bakr for this very specific, give me the goal, I firmly believe most of, if not everything, what Abu Bakr is doing is probably going to be putting him towards that goal and that pathway.
Which is excellent.
But not knowing what it is doesn't mean you can't achieve.
But the reason he's mentioning that is because of the existence of the shiny object, right? The angels were showing the Jahannam, and the angels were also showing Jannah. And when they saw Jahannam, they said, this is so easy for people to follow into. And when they saw Jannah, they saw all the distractions and the trials and tribulations and said, Ya Allah, how would I even make it to it? Which is the point, which is that this world
the shiny
exists
object.
with distractions.
Yeah,
and you need to be aware of
Yeah.
them so that you can stay away from them.
And again, the shiny object thing, it comes
Agreed.
back to being very, very biased in sense of.
It doesn't have
for
to
So
be
a lot of
haram.
that also refers.
It
one
doesn't have to be
person-
haram.
But
for
a lot
one
of that would
person-
be haram, though.
Yeah.
No,
For one-
it doesn't have
like,
to.
I'll give you an
No,
example. I
a
felt
lot.
like, for example, I felt every single person that was playing paddle in the cave was an absolute waste of time. I felt like that because that's my bias.
Sure.
You guys felt Abu Bakr playing paddle a couple of times extra a week was excessive because that's your bias. Everybody will have a bias on signing object,
he's
and
just
everybody will have a different benefit from
Bilal,
signing
is
object.
it healthy that you have a different obsession every quarter? Like, what are you building?
Define
No.
obsession.
Oh,
like-
yeah, so I would say it's
Define
only
obsession.
unhealthy. It's
Something
only
that becomes
spend
your
time,
central-
money,
your-
energy
your,
into
your,
it.
cen- your
Yeah.
central focus. It keeps shifting every quarter.
and I have a good answer.
For personal life, I believe you can. Like, what's
To the
wrong
point
with
where
that?
it infringes on your goal. Like, my thing is, these things become, as in, they become the thing that you're known for in that quarter. Look, we can cut this out, yeah, because obviously,
A lot of this has to be cut out.
because to show, just to give you an example, there's 30 days in the month of Ramadan, right? So it's 30 days in a month. Let's just say the war has been going on for a month. Has it been going on for a month? Has it been going on for a month?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
28, March
27
28.
So let's just
exactly. a month.
please don't be
No,
overly
no,
blue about
30
it.
30 days,
We're
yeah.
just trying to like round figures, right? So 3 days would be what, 10%. If you were busy with this thing for 3 days, it would be 10%, right? All right, cool. So how many days did you give in terms of focus, where you could do nothing except for that particular mission when you went
Your
to
parenting.
Medina and come back? From the moment you started planning it to the moment you came back and recovered from it and got back to your Ramadan or work, whatever have you, was it 3 days?
From when I left to when I got back, approximately, yeah.
Okay, so at least 10%, minimum 10% was gone to that.
I don't believe that's the issue at all.
No, hear me.
I think not enough.
I made a decision. Looked at the things as a man. I've done my risk assessment.
There
Sorry,
was no fights at that time?
there was no. It was very on and
No, it
off.
was very on
Very
and
on
off,
and off. Number one, and also number two. I actually wanted to understand how that system. Same way I said about
The drill.
drilling the electricity cuts. So I wanted to do that. No problem.
I'm not saying that was a bad decision.
And for those 3 days, I don't have any regrets.
I'm not.
And I believe that was ibadah that I was doing for safeguarding my
That's
family.
deep.
Was it? Hear me.
Like
I don't believe that was a regret.
no, but you're saying that
No, let me down.
or 10% as if it's been wasted.
No, let me down.
Land, sure.
So I just want you to understand what you're giving.
Okay.
That I'm just.
Yeah,
you
no,
gave-
I was very much aware of what I gave, but I believe you have to give.
Okay, hear me.
Things require sacrifice.
Sometimes you need a time order to know what you've given.
Hear me. So now
Yes.
everything else on top of that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So I'm saying.
I don't believe it's. I don't know. You got in your mind like the same way you thought a snorkel was something crazy. I feel like you think this is something crazy. Like, this is normal stuff.
We can still cut this out. So no, it's not normal, brother. That was snorkel in your car.
It is. Go on the road. For every car you see, out of every 10 cars, one of them will have a snorkel.
I'll go take a look. But point being is, does it have to be right now in the month of Ramadan? In the last 10 nights?
When there's, that there's this much rain coming, and that and it would taken what, like 2 hours for them to fit.
Okay,
for them to
calm.
fit it.
So
like,
this is
these are all
anyway, but
subjective.
the point both of you
So
have.
now,
The point both of you have.
what you don't realize.
I'm saying you do a risk assessment, or you do an assessment
Sure,
every
sure,
single
but I'm
thing.
saying now-
Every day you're looking at, all right, cool. What should I do for this priority?
I'm telling you,
Is this not?
I'm telling you, 3 months from now,
Okay.
3 months from now, this risk assessment stuff
Reflect
is not
on it.
going to be your focus. It's going to be a next thing.
I hope so.
I hope so. Inshallah.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes, I would love for that to be the situation. I would love for that to be the case. Absolutely.
I would. Look, when
You have to adapt to the world around you. If you're the same, no
talking
matter
about
what's
obsession,
happening
this-
around
I
you in the
think
world,
Imran's point.
you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand what your point is making. I
you're
understand your
gonna
point.
you have to be adaptable.
Yeah.
You have to adapt.
yeah.
This is we're conflating two things. One is
Yeah, you are
safety,
conflating.
security. One is sports and leisure and enjoyment.
Yeah,
And I think
that
they're
is
two different
conflating.
things.
That is conflating.
No, I think Imran's point is the obsessions thing.
It's
obsession.
My
Okay.
thing is
What I would
obsession.
say, the
But he needs to
obsession.
analyze
The
that, right?
obsession was Dean once. Sorry, Stephen
Obsession
Knowledge
is
once.
The
subjective.
way you analyze
Obsession
it.
is very
This is-
subjective.
this-
The
you
point-
what can be obsession for
We
you.
can cut this out.
I'll be honest with you, you've got a
Just
very
to explain
warped way of.
You know the whole Iron Man thing I
you've got a
did?
very warped perception, bro.
The whole Iron Man thing I did
It's
was
the
a
lack of
distraction for
peripheral.
me.
Lack of
Yeah,
peripheral, huh?
distraction.
You know, the whole Iron Man thing I did was a whole distraction for me.
But you're owning
As
it.
much as I'm in that
Brand.
business, it's a distraction for me, and I cut it off. I sold
Oh,
my
yeah.
bike.
Well,
60K, I listed it yesterday.
Yeah, proud of you. Yeah,
But that was a distraction for me.
big time.
That was like do you understand? Like, I can say that because in my industry, I could be like, no, we sell bikes, I need to promote sport, and I was doing all of that, and I was fooling myself because that was shiny object syndrome for me.
No, I think
And
you're
we
conflating
all have
that.
it. We need to acknowledge that we all have shiny objects.
You're conflating distraction with focus. What Bakr did wasn't distracted; it was hyper focused. There was an objective. There was a task that needed to be done at
The security thing I agree with.
at a very specific time that was time sensitive. There would be no point in doing it earlier. There'd be no point in doing it later. There'd be no point in doing it at a
But the
different
paddle
time.
thing I could.
But what helped him in the situation was the fact that he was so obsessive. Why would Abu Bakr do well in these situations? Because he was obsessed. And if that's a
He's
good
a blue.
thing,
He
But look
obsesses
at all
over
the other
details.
areas of his life that he's not progressing in.
But that is, and this is the thing.
No, but
Unless
Sheikh, look at all the other areas in life.
And
that man
that's
is
his point. And
progressing.
that's his
But
point.
the
My point
progress
is there
is
are
measured by-
situations where you have to focus on certain things.
No,
because
Abu
you
Bakr,
have to adapt.
He's not just saying about the security thing. He's saying about the paddle thing, right?
Yeah,
No.
every time
Abu
someone
Bakr,
Go again, bro.
what you need to acknowledge
Muhammad's
is
got
that
this
there's
thing.
shiny object syndrome we all have.
No,
And if it's
I-
taking away from goals that you had set for yourself,
I
your
don't-
younger self, you promised that I'm going to achieve X, Y, Z.
I don't
then you need
deny
to
that,
reflect
but I also believe that there is a level of remit that a man has in his own life to do.
And
Like,
you
for
need to
example, there's
analyze that
things
yourself.
like, yeah, absolutely.
You
There's
need to
things that
analyze that
you will do
yourself.
this. Exactly, it's my point.
yeah.
Every man is a shepherd for his
But
family.
he's an advisor because he's your friend. He knows you the best.
I agree with you, but I do believe you have a very warped perception when it comes to these things. So I'll take what you say with a pinch of salt. That's
Yeah,
what I do.
and that's why- that's
I'll take what
amazing.
you say with a pinch of
Guys,
salt.
he took it.
I'll take what you say with a pinch of
took it
salt.
with a pinch of
I'll
salt.
take what you say with a pinch of
That's
salt.
good.
I'll mix it all together and I'll drink it.
That's good.
So
Wallahi, that's good. I think we should leave it at that.
that's it.
I think we should leave it at
Can I
that.
bring this back to a different point?
For 10 years.
No, but Wallahi,
I'll
seeking
take
knowledge
the
things,
pinches.
I think you should really consider.
Nah, no, 100%.
The fact that you
Like,
were memorizing Nawaqid al-Islam, well, how many years ago was that?
Bro, 10 years.
that was
And
over
what have
10
you memorized in that 10
over
years?
10 years ago? Absolutely, no, 100%. That
Hey,
is
guys,
that
I'm
is
gonna
one of the
rewind
biggest
back
L's
to-
and that
I'm going
I
to
reflect
rewind us
upon.
back to how we can
And that should change behavior now.
how we can prevent this trauma becoming solidified in us, because this is what we were talking about. It's how we got this off side.
What? Where did trauma
It's
come
fun,
from?
So we were
It's fun.
talking about initially how different types of fear and how some of it can be very systemic, i.e. in the sense that you feel fear over small isolated incidents, which some of us are feeling right now. So people that are living in Sharjah, a little bit further from Dubai, were feeling this isolated incidents, which will build a certain level of trauma and PTSD. And then you're going to have people who are directly going boom, 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 hearing this overhead, interceptors going off every other day.
Is it normal to feel, you know, like he was saying earlier, like excitement almost?
Yeah. So some people,
to the point where
yeah.
sometimes you
yeah,
almost
absolutely.
It's a
want
masculine-
something to kick off.
Yeah,
So
It's
it's
a
like,
masculine thing.
I want
But
to,
there's
you know, like
something
people say,
called-
like, you want the plane,
Yeah.
like, just so I can go land. Like, you want something to happen, like,
This
so
has to be cut
I'm
off as
forced
well,
to
but
land the plane, like.
But the adrenaline thing, you're absolutely right. There's actually a concept called the HPA, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal complex. This is where you've got a fusion, a collusion, a collation between your hypothalamus, which is your thinking, your pituitary gland, which is releasing all of these hormones, and your adrenal gland, which kind of really decimates a lot of how this works through fear.
Is there
Okay.
supplements you can take?
Yeah, supplements, but there's a better way. This is what we're going on to. So right now, a lot of people are getting this HPA effect where they're thinking one thing and then think, oh, if there was one a bit closer, I could have seen it. And these guys are going on the roof and watching these interceptions and thinking, you guys mental.
And Pakistanis
Why are
always
you-"
do that.
It's mad. Like,
We
you're
go and
advised
watch
to
it.
go underground and these guys are going onto the
Yeah,
roof
we
and
wanna
watching
see
the
it.
interception, they're videoing it. But how do you now prevent this becoming a long-term issue? Well, imagine in 3 years' time, in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, 5 months' time, when all this is over, you're still experiencing this anxiety and this fear from this fear to fly. And we as Muslims are in a very prime position to prevent things like this. One of the reasons that we can really well do this well is because we can choose our top-down control. Yeah.
which is what
So
you
when
mean.
these things happen, how do we deal with it? We see an interceptor go off. What's the first thing? We get scared and we forget all about Allah? Or do we ask Allah for protection?
Yeah, first thing.
First thing.
In Ramadan, this is a potent point. Think about it. In Ramadan, this happened to us at a time when we are the most spiritual, when we have the easiest way and the easiest
Manage your stress.
fertile soil
Yeah, to
to
manage.
create this resilience,
100%.
to create this top-down control.
This fort.
Yeah. At this time, you are primed. Allah's never been closer to us in
Wallahi.
Ramadan. And at this time, He is then afflicting us with these trials and tribulations.
To bring us even closer to
Yeah. And how much closer can we have got to Him through this?
Hajj is the only time where I think it might be closer, but yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
But do you see what I mean? So for us, one of the things now, if this advice is falling at a time when obviously it's after Ramadan now, so how do you then manage this? And this is the first thing. As Muslims, one of the things that you can do, and even if you're not a Muslim, the first thing you can do is become Muslim. If you're not going to become Muslim, at the very least, start trying to connect spiritually and understanding that this is not something that you can physically overcome. Yeah? You are not going to be able to stop the missiles with your hands. You're not going to be able to physically dissect your brain and change this. So now you have to look internally and think to yourself, okay, I understand the biology. This is happening to me. I'm getting anxiety. I'm getting high blood pressure. I'm getting stressed. I'm quaking. When I do these CBT sessions, and this is months and months, sometimes years after, You know, people have gone through the trauma. You sit there and you talk to them and you make them drag up these memories.
Ameen.
And bro, they are sitting and they're quaking.
Really, that's mad.
They're
Allah
quaking.
protect us. I mean,
And you think to yourself, there's a physiological effect happening right now while I'm talking to this person. Why? Because you're pulling out these memories. Yeah,
You know,
you're pulling out these feelings that they had. So for us, we can go one way or the other.
PTSD.
That's PTSD.
That's PTSD. Okay.
Very much the bordering of PTSD. So in the next 3 to 4 months, one of the things that we need to start doing is associating these situations that are going to happen every time you hear something happening, whether it's an isolated incident, all of a sudden, boom, and you hear it. Yeah? What's the first thing you can do? Bro, hit the ground, put your head into sajda, man. Yeah? You're turning literally back to your Lord at a time where your soul could be taken from you. If that is not a trial run, of the oncoming of death, I can't tell you what else is.
And it's like the hadith that
Yeah,
during the time of fitna, ibadah is like
doing hijrah.
it's like doing hijrah for Allah.
To the
As a Muslim who's born in Islam,
Hijrah
Yeah.
to the Prophet.
as a Muslim who's born in a land of a Muslim country, I don't have the opportunity to do hijrah. So for me, that's like an opportunity to do hijrah. Is at time of fitna, I turn to Allah.
When the isolated incidents happen, for example, for us in church,
Well, you're just saying,
yeah?
one thing, sorry to interrupt you, that Guled, one habit I picked up from him, really good. Whenever anything happened, like whether he got someone boo and he just jumped, or something happened, he saw a crash, car crash or whatever, he said, La ilaha illallah. But the way he would say it was almost as if like, just like, it became a habit. And like, but if you're not saying it, if it's not on the tip of your tongue when these things happen, what makes you think that when your real death comes, you're going to say it?
100%, you know, and isolated incidents, for example, the one that we see was exactly what I was going to say here, is creating little habits that attach onto every time you see something. Give a bit of sadaqah. Every time you see an interceptor going up, every time you hear one of those every time you hear on the news something has happened, how many of us genuinely are hearing these news snips and every single day, and we're sharing with each other and we're talking about it in the groups and we're discussing what we're going to do, but how many of us saying, you know what? Let me give you a bit of sadaqah. I've heard this news.
Sadaqah removes bala, sadaqah removes calamities.
How many of us thinking, like, let's just enforce this habit? It doesn't have to be thousands. It could literally be a couple of dirhams here, a couple of dirhams there. And when has it ever been so easy? When has it ever been so facilitated for us to give sadaqah? Bro, you know, back in the day, if you look at the UK, one of the people that we should make dua for are those old Maulvi Sabs that used to come from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and used to come and take zakah from us. Because in those days, it was hard to give zakah because you couldn't give it to anyone in the UK. You couldn't just fly back to your family, and there was no Western Union. These were the people that facilitated our sadaqah lillah. For us, we are living in an era where giving these sort of sadaqah is so easy. It's never been so facilitated ever in our lives. And in such a way, you can literally click your phone, Apple Pay, boom, boom. Every time you hear a piece of news, boom, boom, a couple of dirhams. Yeah, you are literally warding off these calamities
100%.
by doing small actions like this. And this is what I'm talking about: top-down control. You are taking positive action when you are being hit with anxiety and fear. Yeah, your amygdala is being overstressed, you're releasing adrenaline, your hypothalamus is everywhere. Now your biology is out of circuit. So what you're doing, you're retaking control of your biology through a very systematic psychological approach, using Islam, using our deens, using what we've been taught. These are literal commands and control. These are literal commands and systems that Prophet ﷺ has shown us and taught us, and we are yet to utilize them.
You know, on that positive framework that you're mentioning, we know the Hadith Qudsi where Allah says, "Inna ana 'inda dhanni 'abdi bi," that I am as my slave perceives me as. So you need to have good assumptions of Allah for good to happen to you. A lot of us, we just think bad. Oh no, this is the time that Muslims. Oh, this is the time this is going to happen. You think bad, Allah is going to do bad to you. If you think good of Allah, you know that Allah Azza wa Jal will take care of you. Allah Azza wa Jal has said in the Quran that Allah Azza wa Jal will not punish a people whilst وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ, that you Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam are with them. And we know the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not with us anymore. And then the rest of the ayah is, I will not punish them, and وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ, and they're doing istighfar. So we know that if we do istighfar, Allah will not punish us.
And you know, genuinely, when I'm doing my sessions, and I always go back to my sessions because it's been enlightening for me. I've learned so much through doing CBT of others. I've learned so much about myself, and you learn so much about people in general. Is I can very distinctly see the difference between those people who have had spiritual safeguards. So I spoke to a couple recently. The sister was she used to emphatically read the Quran all the time. She was big on reading the Quran, and she goes, I would look for ways of my situation and which surahs matched my situation. She was very particular on this, and she goes, I've done this from a very young age. My mum taught me this. And she used to also have this thing where she used to call upon the names of Allah depending on the situation. And when I compared her, when I was doing her CBT, and it was her and her husband together, and I was doing this, and I was looking at her reactions and his reactions, and the difference was, it was vast. And they'd been through a very similar experience. You know, it was a couple from Afghanistan. They'd been through a lot of trauma there, and they'd migrated to the UK, and they're looking at migrating over to the Middle East region now. So they've been going through a lot of problems. And they got married at a very young age. He was 17 and she was like 15, I think.
It's normal in Afghanistan.
Yeah, so they're very normal, but they're very tender age. So they'd grown up together. And they're in the late 40s now, you know. They've been through a lot. So they'd been through some serious, you know, periods of history, recent history. So their trauma was significant. But her coping mechanism, her top-down control was amazing.
Wow.
Like, it was almost like, you're going to have to re-explain this to me again because I'm trying to understand how you're processing this so well and why your husband sat here shaking, you know? And it was things like this. So for us, we need to really develop these top-down controls. Now, if you're not a Muslim, how do you do this? You know, obviously, I'm hoping most of our listeners are Muslim. And if you're not Muslim, the easiest way is just to become Muslim. You know, I'm guaranteeing you this. This, like, you know, you can take it with a pinch of salt if you want to, but if you want guarantees, then this is the guarantee, the Quran and Sunnah. So become a Muslim. But if you're not a Muslim, there's other ways of doing this. Yeah, primarily, one thing I would say is really opening up your resources. And what I mean by that is not just physical things, it's by learning things.
Okay.
So a lot of the times our anxiety comes from not knowing something, like a diagnostic. So for example, oftentimes when I'm diagnosing people, yeah, they're like, Doc, I've been to 10 different people, no one can tell me what this is. Just you telling me what this is has solved half the problem. So becoming more knowledgeable, yeah, of your current surroundings, situations, the things that are causing you anxiety. Oftentimes, you know, when you're having this stuff raining down on us, people talk about, you know, oh, it was this type of missile, it was this type of drone, it was this type of interceptor. Why do they talk about this? What relevance is it? Yeah, are you going to be selling this? Are you going to be buying this? Are you going to be controlling this? No, it's knowing the knowledge. It actually calms people down.
The fear of unknown.
It's the fear of unknown. So learning more about situational control and the situation that you're in, whether it's the technology, whether it's the region, whether it's what's happening around us, whether it's watching a news clip here and there, whether it's learning methods of calming yourself down, breathing techniques, yeah? These things also help a lot. But again, I would always go back to...
What about supplements?
Supplementation-wise, there's absolutely definitely...
Ashwagandha.
So actually, I'm a big fan of herbal medicine. You know, I love my peptides. Don't get me wrong.
Peptides for this?
Yeah, peptides for this as well.
No, tell me. I need to know. I need to know, bro.
Yeah, there's ones. I'll talk to you about them in a second. But before going on to them, there are many people that take supplements. A lot of them are very poor clinical trials with them. They don't really have much efficacy. A lot of it's placebo. Ashwagandha, oddly enough, is one of the few that has a very, very strong clinical evidence. Yes.
I've been taking consistently for 6 months. Haven't noticed any difference.
Has been shown... Ashwagandha has been shown to be on par with pharmaceutical grade anti-anxietic like sertraline and amitriptyline. Yes.
How do you take it? I take it in the pill.
Yeah, the different ways. Usually, whatever you see on the
that's a peptide style. Yeah.
Usually, it's whatever's on the bottle is quite accurate.
600 mg, is that good enough?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you because I'm not a naturopath, but whatever's on the bottle is quite good. Yeah.
I asked Manus AI, it tells me it's good. I should split it into 2 meals.
But Manus will tell you whatever you want.
Dr. Shafaqat. I know Dr. Mustafa.
No, Dr. Shafaqat is a naturopath.
I had no idea. I have no I don't know.
From the UK. He's from the UK.
Allah Mubarak. Is he active? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's pretty big in them circles.
Okay.
Yeah, but ashwagandha is one of the few that's been shown clinically to be that effective.
But what about the raw ashwagandha? Is that better?
Yeah, absolutely. A raw product I always say go for because it contains all the enzymes,
like Shilajit is raw as well.
Shilajit is I'm actually doing a trial of Shilajit.
What's happening with it, Rob? You took my blood twice.
You know, I'll be honest with you. You're going to snip this bit out, yeah? Snip this bit out.
This is the last point. We're going to conclude on this.
Yeah, snip this bit out, yeah? But,
you know, 90% of supplements I take, I don't feel it. You know the ones I feel? Melatonin?
Yeah. The ones...
but we're talking blood work. You don't need to feel it.
I have all of those.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're talking blood work. You don't need to feel it. We're talking blood work. We should see it in your blood.
I don't think
and that's what the blood test is for.
Yeah, you should be. Every single one of us should be on some sort of
That's what the blood test is for.
The basic one. So for yourself, start off on 2 things. There's 2 supplements I would recommend for every single person for brain and body.
And magnesium.
No.
L-theanine.
Collagen. And creatine. That's
collagen.
Yeah,
it tells me to take all the time. That's for skin and hair.
When I'm working out.
That's for skin and hair.
Creatine for brain health.
Collagen.
Creatine's
top notch.
So I'll tell you something.
But you know, 1 out of 4 people don't have any effect.
So I'll tell you something, right? So when I take
the wrong amount,
non-responders.
Anytime I've taken
10 grams.
Anytime I've taken supplements in my life, they haven't really benefited me, except for melatonin. Yeah,
that's the only one you can feel.
But all the others, it's when I started taking these 7 that Umar gave me.
Tell me.
All of them together.
What are they? Berberine, vitamin D,
some V2,
zinc,
magnesium, creatine, all of them. That was the point of my life.
I don't think I think it was just.
Shall I tell you why?
No,
I think so.
No, before I started using, as in literally on like day 3, I started feeling it.
Shall I tell you why?
Yeah.
This is most people.
They all say about it.
Yeah, I'll explain to you why. So everybody that takes vitamins, supplements, minerals, even caffeine, what you're doing is everyone thinks that I should feel this big hike or I should feel amazing on it. everybody is not at baseline. If you were at baseline where you're meant to be naturally and everything's optimized, and then you took those minerals, vitamins, even caffeine,
Okay, that's a
see
good point.
boost.
That's a good point.
What everyone's doing is they're coming from below baseline,
And they expect.
and they're coming up to a bit closer to where they should be. Yeah. If you want to go above it, those 7 that you take now, take them consistently for about 6 months. Exercise, hydrate, all of that.
And diet is the biggest one, bro.
Then take all the additional supplements, and you see how they work. You see them feeding them.
Does L-theanine help with deep work focus?
Have to now
Conclude.
conclude.
Okay, just off the grid. Off the
Carry this on.
Yeah.
Off the podcast. Final remarks. Final remarks.
Just
I mean,
on the
who's
topic.
going to be editing this? Because this is going to be a fun one.
let's just
Final
focus.
remarks.
No, alhamdulillah.
Let's just focus.
Prepare for the day when
Yeah, subhanallah.
that day. That's the real day. We need to prepare for.
Subhanallah.
No snorkels on that day.
But you got focus though to prepare for that.
You got to focus to prepare for that day.
You're going to be drowning in your own sweat.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
You got to stop.
Well,
preparing.
hopefully,
Hopefully learn
not
out from
if you
them.
take one of those 7 dose.
SubhanAllah.
Mention the hadith, right?
I thought you was about to say, if you take one of those 7 supplements, stop taking on. What the hell is that got to do with anything, bro? With that said, guys, see you in the next episode.
Subhanallah.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.